Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. When I was chased at the beginning, I opened Mangekyō in seconds. Chapter 41. He didn't tell everything. After all, Uchiha Kagami can act as the executor of Eye of the Moon. But it is too easy to lose control without planting the talisman. Once the opponent discovers it first, 9 tails can be fused into 10 tails through Gedo statue. Maybe, he will become 10 tails Jinchuriki before he can. To be honest, if Kagami was just a teenager and had not yet awakened Mangekyō, he would still be confident that he would not be out of control even without the spell. But Neihi Jing is already 25 years old. In terms of strength, apart from him and Hashirama, he is undoubtedly the number one in the ninja world. Moreover, he also has a good relationship with Senju Tobarama. Who knows whether the other party is pretending to cooperate, but actually trying to stop him. But little does anyone know. Uchiha Kagami really wants to help. It's not because of Project Tsuki no Mi. After all, the truth of infinite Tsukuyomi is not just as beautiful as an illusion. But as time goes by, the sacred tree will turn everyone in the ninja world into an army of white Zetsu. But in the future against the Otsutsuki clan, Kagaya is an indispensable and important role, and this white Zetsu army is also the bargaining chip that Kagaya originally planned to fight against. But the embarrassing thing is, Uchiha Kagami discovered that white Zetsu is really a thorn in the side of the dish. Although white Zetsu is already very powerful compared to ordinary ninjas, even 100,000 white Zetsu will not have much effect on pervert-level beings like Otsutsuki. On the contrary, Uchiha Kagami's plan is the elite route. For example, people like Naruto, Sasuke, Uchiha Madara, Kagaya, Hashirama. Of course, these people may not be the opponent of the Otsutsuki clan if they unite, but it doesn't matter because there is also a pervert scientist, Orochimaru. An existence that can extract wool from Shinigami, and can switch between men and women at will in the future. That kind of people, it shouldn't be difficult to reasonably strengthen a wave of elites. In order to agree to Orochimaru to be the third Hokage, it was actually mainly to increase his favorability. Rights and other things were secondary, so that Orochimaru could make due contributions to the peace of the ninja world. But unfortunately, Madara is a suspicious person. At least I'm not so confident about myself, so I can't really communicate with him, and I can't reveal all my thoughts. Seeing his hesitation, Uchiha Madara couldn't help but test, "Have you thought about it? Kurigakure's people will be here soon. As long as you help me, our plan will be completely successful. I can use my name in the future. For you. No need for a name, I can cooperate with you," Uchiha Kagami said seriously, "but the plan will not be carried out now. After all, the second brother is very thoughtful and can easily be found out. How about you come to Konoha village to find me after the second brother passes away?" Come to Konoha village to see you. Uchiha Madara was muttering in her heart. Is this kid trying to trick me on purpose? When the time comes, he will unite with those trash in Konoha to deal with him. I know that even though I am from the Uchiha clan, you don't believe me. You are even worried that I will turn around and sell you out. Uchiha Kagami said with a sincere face, "But I actually hope for peace in the ninja world more than anyone else, and the second brother actually only cares about the interests of Konoha. Compared with you and me, his vision is so different. If you don't believe it, I can kill Tobarama." "Okay, I believe it." Uchiha Madara nodded. "Then I will send someone to find you in 3 days. My body is inconvenient to move. I will contact you through White Zetsu at that time." "Okay, what about third Mizukage and 3 tails? What's your suggestion?" "Let me control them. Tobarama asked me to investigate the third Mizukage. I have begun to suspect that someone is up to something," Uchiha Kagami said slowly. "I will pretend that I failed to infiltrate Kurigakure, and was discovered by the third Mizukage and started fighting. In order to avoid misunderstandings in diplomacy between the villages, I will take the third Mizukage away by force and give Tobarama an explanation. And the battle between you and me here can be disguised as a battle with the third Mizukage. There is no one else here except you. With my eye power, there is no possibility of the secret being leaked." "Okay, it's up to you." Uchiha Madara glanced. "It's clear that you are the only one here who can leak secrets. If you don't have anyone else, you can check out third Mizukage to see if you really cooperate with me sincerely." Then, Uchiha Madara and Black Zetsu left. Uchiha Kagami was left taking control of the third Mizukage, waiting quietly. Not long after, a large number of Kurigakure ninjas gathered around, and each one of them was ready and nervous. Invasion. Someone has invaded. There is only one ninja in Konoha. So arrogant. Haha. Great. Kill him. Konoha's invaders will pay the price. No, this Konoha's Red Fang, Uchiha Kagami, let's retreat quickly. Can Mizukage-sama win? It's broken. Mizukage-sama is defeated. Save Mizukage-sama, hurry up. So strong. We can't even get close. Is this the legendary Red Flash? With the Flying Thunder God being able to defeat Shadow, it really makes people scared. All Mist Shinobi ninjas are furious. But with Uchiha Kagami's strength, these people can't stop him at all. He could only watch as he took the defeated third Mizukage away, but could do nothing. Konoha Village. Inside the Hokage building. Senju Tobarama sits at his desk. He frowned and listened to the information reported by Anbu, feeling a little uneasy for a while. The fact that he sent a camera to investigate third Mizukage was not a spur-of-the-moment idea, but it had been so long since World War II broke out, and the village seemed like nothing had happened. He was very suspicious. There is something wrong within the village. As the first combat force in Konoha village, Kage naturally accepted this task, but after all, this was to sneak into the enemy's village, and it was not the same concept as fighting Kage elsewhere. If there is danger, it will be too late to rescue. This made him a little worried about the safety of the mirror. Senju Tobarama felt regretful again. You haven't come back yet. It's been so long. Could something happen? Came back. Before he could finish muttering. Swish. A Flying Thunder God. Uchiha Kagami appeared in front of him. But there was a long-haired man next to him, which made Senju Tobarama stunned. Who is this? Third Mizukage. I brought it back. Mirror said. No, brother, I asked you to investigate the status of the third Mizukage, but I didn't ask you to bring the Mizukage back. Senju Tobarama couldn't help complaining. Now, the third Tsuchikage and the third Raikage are stranded in the village. Together with the third Kazekage who left before, all four shadows are here. Do you have a weird habit of collecting shadows? No, Uchiha Kagami said sincerely. Originally, I planned to confirm the status of third Mizukage and come back, but I was accidentally discovered, and then I fought with him. But the people in my village don't believe it at all and think I am an intruder. I can only bring Mr. Mizukage back and let you explain it in person. Humph, what do you Konoha mean? We have no intention of conflict with you, but you send people to sneak into our village. Are you trying to provoke a war? Third Kazekage cooperated and showed just the right amount of anger. No, Mizukage Dono, don't get me wrong. Senju Tobarama stood up and said solemnly, because your village is independent of the world, I was worried about your safety so I sent a mirror to investigate. I didn't mean to provoke you. The war is almost over. We didn't mean it. Please forgive me. Your Majesty Hokage spoke harshly, I was wrong. The two chatted for a while. The misunderstanding was finally resolved and the two parties reached a reconciliation. Since Kurigakure did not participate in the Second Ninja War, this kind of behavior could easily irritate Kurigakure, so Kagami made another trip to send him back. Under Mangekyō's control, without any mistakes, he returned to the village. Senju Tobarama has never met third Mizukage before, and he doesn't understand the other party's habits at all, so Tobarama doesn't see any flaws. On the way, he went to Rain Shinobi village. A shadow clone was left to take care of Nagato, Yahiko, and Konan, and Jiraiya's safety was also guaranteed. And because Onoki and I were forced to stay in Konoha. Coupled with the coordinated siege by Tsunegakure's allies, Cloud Shinobi Village and Iwagakure were quickly defeated and surrendered in Konoha. The Second Ninja War is over. There is peace in the ninja world again. Because the situation created by Uchiha Kagami is more favorable to Konoha, this time the Second Shinobi War ends earlier than in the original work. But the end of the war does not mean the absence of conflict. The weakest one, Tsunegakure, suffered the heaviest losses, and there were always some people inside who didn't like to ally with Konoha, and seemed to be in civil strife. In particular, the reckless men of Cloud Shinobi Village and Iwagakure are trying to regain their place, and the disputes between the major shinobi villages have never stopped. And Kurigakure, because the third Mizukage was captured alive for no reason, I felt very embarrassed. But there was nothing they could do about Konoha. Even if they wanted to do something, they would have to wait until the third ninja war came. Besides, they were the furthest away from Konoha and they didn't want to be the one who stood out. And Uchiha Kagami almost single-handedly turned the tide of the battle. This immediately made him a hero of Konoha, and his reputation in Konoha skyrocketed, followed by Hatake Tsukumo. Then, it's Konoha Sannin. The most famous among them is not Tsunade and Jiraiya, but Orochimaru. Because during his time in Rain Shinobi Village, he controlled Hanzo to stabilize the battlefield situation, and also used Hanzo to deliver a lot of benefits to Konoha. Certainly, these are legitimate trades that are reasonable and compliant. Moreover, it was personally supervised by the leader of Rain Shinobi Village, so there were no loopholes. Moreover, he not only perfected impure world reincarnation during this period, but also strengthened his control and strength a lot. He no longer needs to stay in Rain Shinobi Village to monitor Hanzo. Night, Konoha Village. Inside the Hokage building. There was a hint of admiration on Second Hokage's stern face. Not bad, not bad. Hanzo just reached a foreign trade deal with us, and it's still 50% higher than the market price. We Konoha will grow stronger again. What foreign trade? Jing asked curiously. It means transporting our Konoha village's souvenirs there, and Hanzo will buy them at a higher market price. Senju Tobarama said with a smile. Originally, if we traded with other villages, our village would be exhausted if we earned more than 10 million taels, but now it has at least doubled. Ha ha ha, your idea was great. Rain Shinobi Village has indeed been a great help to us in Konoha. The resources consumed by the war will probably be recovered soon. Well, Uchiha Kagami looked helpless. If you do this, it won't be good for Rain Shinobi Village. Isn't 50% too much? Does Hanzo agree to this? It doesn't matter if he doesn't agree, but I won't do anything about it. Senju Tobarama said sincerely. One of the important reasons for the decline of talent in Rain Shinobi Village is the lack of enough elite ninja teachers to teach young children, so I lent him a group of people, which can be regarded as compensation. This compensation is worth it. It's no problem to pay 50% more. Uchiha Kagami nodded. After all, the major ninja villages even in peacetime. It is also impossible to train talents for other ninja villages casually. If the ninja war starts again in the future, wouldn't it be like picking a stone to shoot yourself in the foot? Only appropriate at this stage. It won't be certain until the follow-up. The two sides can actually complement each other. Senju Tobarama is still not at ease. I'm very relieved about Hanzo. Orochimaru has done well recently, but that kid named Nagato, are you sure it's okay to stay in Rain Shinobi Village? Wouldn't it be safer to bring him back to the village, train him for a period of time without becoming a ninja, and then replace Hanzo when he grows up? But that child doesn't want to come to Konoha. His parents were killed by our Konoha village ninjas, so he has a grudge in his heart. Jing said helplessly. Okay, I don't have to force it, as long as there are no accidents. Aha, Uchiha Kagami nodded perfunctorily. Suddenly I felt uncomfortable and rubbed my eyes with my hands. Senju Tobarama worried. What's wrong? Are your eyes uncomfortable? Are you using Mangekyō too often? It's a little bit, my eyesight has dropped a lot. Uchiha Kagami looked calm and said Haki, but it doesn't matter, it won't have much impact. Even if the war breaks out again in the future, I can still catch a few shadows for the village, no matter who the other party is. Jing, thank you for your hard work. Senju Tobarama was so moved that he suddenly frowned and said dissatisfied, by the way, didn't you say that brother cells can help you? It's been so long. Orochimaru hasn't been researched yet. Can't do such a small thing well. I think this kid is not qualified for the position of third Hokage. Second brother, you. Uchiha Kagami shook his head and laughed. Just as he was about to say something, there was a knock on the door. I saw Orochimaru with slender purple eyeshadow walking in, showing a confident smile. Second generation I-sama, Kagami-sama. If I say that I have developed a Hashirama cell reagent that has no side effects, then am I qualified for the third Hokage? Huh, really? Uchiha Kagami is not excited yet. Senju Tobarama changed his usual attitude and sat up directly. Of course, Lord Second Generation. Orochimaru took out a green reagent and suppressed his excitement. In order to perfectly match Mr. Kagami's cells, I stayed up all night to conduct human experiments, and finally completed the experiment in 7749 days. This Hashirama cell reagent will not only relieve Kagami-sama of Mangekyō's burden, but also allow him to awaken first Hokage-sama's unique wood style. What? Are you sure? Senju Tobirama looked excited. No one has learned my elder brother's wood style yet. Even the Senju clan is not sure. Are you sure you can make the mirror awaken the wood style? Of course. I am a rigorous scientist and I will never talk nonsense. What about intensity? It will be very strong, but it will not be stronger than first generation at the beginning, but as long as the strength of the mirror continues to grow, wood style will continue to strengthen. Good boy, if you really succeed, I will designate you as the third Hokage. Senju Tobirama is no longer calm. Wood style, he knows very well how powerful wood style is. Although the third brother is strong enough, he even has the same potential as Madara. But Madara, who is as strong as Uchiha, was not defeated by her elder brother's wood style. In the Valley of the End, Madara even cooperated with the power of 9 tails, but she still couldn't beat him. This is enough to prove the power of wood style. Certainly, the strength of wood style lies in the individual. Rather than the wood style itself, the potential of the mirror goes without saying. Nowadays, chakra is not weaker than his elder brother. Once Mangekyō is no longer loaded, it is not impossible to cooperate with wood style to achieve the unification of the ninja world. Orochimaru, give it to me. Good. Second brother, don't you try first. It's okay, it doesn't matter, I trust Orochimaru. Uchiha Kagami didn't take a second look. A solution filled with Hashirama cells was injected. After a while, he felt powerful life force filling his body, and even the Hashirama cells were very strong. But Hashirama's face does not appear on his body. Is it done? Tobirama asked expectantly. Second brother, I have become a master, and wood style has also awakened. Uchiha Kagami extended her hand. Green buds representing life immediately sprouted from his hands. This immediately made Tobirama ecstatic, and Orochimaru was also the same, but he became even more grateful for the mirror. After all, these are Hashirama cells, and the concentration is almost infinitely close to Hashirama. Although he successfully developed it, he lacks confidence. The other party actually believed in him completely and injected the reagent directly into his body. But as everyone knows, Jing is more confident than him. Why? Because in these few months, Uchiha Kagami kept communicating with him and gained a lot of favorability. It's already over 50 points, and they are as close friends as Jiraiya, but that's not the point. The point is, when the relationship escalates, he gained a new aura characteristic, Science of the Ninja World. Science of the Ninja World. As long as the theory conforms to scientific logic, the experiment will be successful on you. He himself does not have any scientific knowledge. But as long as he stays next to Orochimaru, he can develop the desired experimental results under the influence of the aura. This epic Hashirama reagent is naturally its product. The moment this potion appeared, he knows better than anyone whether this thing will work. Good guy. The system said it was successful, is it still false? Of course, this halo characteristic is not about getting what you want. First of all, it is in line with scientific logic and theory. Anything that does not follow scientific logic will fail. Therefore, it took Orochimaru so long. In fact, if we really count, his previous personal research plus his influence lasted at least half a year. But Orochimaru doesn't know this. I was so moved that I gave him a few more favorability points. Ding. System hint. Favorability +3 from Orochimaru. 30 points of chakra. Software modification. Orochimaru body replacement technique. Well, this is a bit pervert, but it's not useless. Uchiha Kagami complained in his heart. It's just that it's better not to use it. After all, I spit out snakes, snakes spit out me, and my drawing style of spitting out swords doesn't suit my style. Mirror, I plan to nominate a third Hokage candidate now. Senju Tobirama made a quick decision. Orochimaru has made such a great contribution and is indispensable to Konoha and even the entire ninja world. Orochimaru. Are you ready to be a Hokage? Ah. Orochimaru was stunned. I was overwhelmed with joy for a moment. Uchiha Kagami also didn't expect that Tobirama would be so decisive. No, second brother, is it too early now? The war has just ended. Will there be any bad effects if you abdicate so early? No, not early at all. Senju Tobirama said earnestly. You have forgotten that I am already 60 years old. Do I really have to wait until death to abdicate? Konoha is now prosperous, and the replacement of Hokage will prove that our village has no shortage of talents. Not to mention Orochimaru, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Hiruzen, Danzo, who among them can't be a Hokage based on their strength. Other villages don't have this background at all, so there won't be any bad influence. But the high-level meeting will be held later. I want to reveal the news among my own people first, so that the village can accept the news of the third Hokage candidate in advance. Call Hiruzen and Danzo here. Good. Soon, Shimura Danzo and Sarutobi Hiruzen are here. Orochimaru was a little embarrassed to face the teacher, so he did not appear in front of him. Mirror stood next to second generation differently than usual, constantly giving them hints with his eyes. Hiruzen and Danzo were both excited. Could it be that Kagami was going to fulfill his promise and elect them as the third Hokage? Knew it. The teacher hasn't given up on them yet. Thank you Uchiha Kagami, thank you teacher for your love. The inner activities of the two were very rich, but Senju Tobirama then said, Hiruzen, Danzo, I plan to let Orochimaru be the third Hokage, you don't have any objections, right? And, Kageya picked Orochimaru, I think it's a perfect fit. Quote? Hiruzen and Danzo are stupid. Apparently, he was so shocked by this news that he couldn't wrap his head around it. After a while, the two of them calmed down. No matter how stupid they are, they now understand that both of them were deceived by Jing, the old man. Although Hiruzen felt uncomfortable, but after all, Orochimaru is his disciple, so it's not unacceptable. Danzo felt aggrieved, and he looked very unwilling. Teacher, Orochimaru has a very cold personality. I think it may be detrimental to Konoha in the future. I think we can replace him with another Hokage candidate. I know, but there's no need to change. Senju Tobirama thought for a moment and said resolutely, we only need to create a special organization to supervise the current Hokage. I named this organization, Root, the root of Konoha. As long as the roots are not cut off, Konoha will be rejuvenated again. Even if the Hokage dares to harm the village, the leader of the root can be killed first and then punished. Who do you think is suitable? Hiruzen. I think Danzo is suitable. Danzo. Teacher, I can be the leader of the roots. Tobirama. No, you are not strong enough, let Kage do it. Danzo. Teacher, but, Danzo gritted his teeth and said, didn't Jing's eyesight deteriorate? He will soon be blind. How can he be qualified as a leader with roots? So what if my eyesight is diminished? Senju Tobirama said without any doubt, I think you have seen Kage's performance in the war this time. He almost single-handedly reversed the direction of the war and minimized the losses of Konoha. With such penultimate military exploits, it is more than enough to be the leader of Gen. I have never been a partial person. Danzo, how many military exploits do you have? Me. Danzo felt extremely aggrieved. He has no military exploits, so isn't it possible that all opportunities have been given to others? Especially, the time when Konoha Sannin fought Hanzo. Who would have thought that Konoha Sannin could make a name for himself? At first, almost no one except Kagami was optimistic about them, but if he had been braver and fought for it with Hiruzen. Isn't that what military exploits are all about? It might not be difficult to create two prides of Konoha. But everyone knows that the reason why Danzo has so few military exploits is simply because of his cowardice. He never thought that the reason why he failed to catch up last time was because he was timid and did not dare to face Hanzo, who was known as the pinnacle of the ninja world, like Jiraiya and the others. Danzo has also been on the battlefield, but he has always dealt with those miscellaneous soldiers. Whenever he encounters a famous one, he retreats. It's okay for him to be a coward, he also thinks that he is the future of Konoha. Then there will be no one to succeed the Hokage, and Konoha will decline without him. This was the truest thought in his heart. He felt that only by becoming Hokage could Konoha reach its peak. He never felt that he was wrong. Teacher, what about Assistant Hokage? Danzo regained hope and said hurriedly, with my ability, I can definitely serve as a Hokage assistant. Orochimaru is still young and needs experienced people to assist him. I can make him the best Hokage. Danzo, are you so obsessed with power? Danzo said blankly. Huh. Teacher. Senju Tobirama seriously reprimanded. I have no doubt about your ability, but you are too obsessed with power. Do you have to obtain power to contribute to Konoha? There are so many outstanding ninjas in the village. Their rights are even lower than yours, but they are not afraid of sacrificing anything to do things for Konoha. Do you have to get rights before you are willing to do things? Or are you just greedy for power and enjoying the satisfaction that power brings you? In fact, you don't care about Konoha at all. No, teacher, I'm not. You disappoint me so much. Get out. Teacher, I didn't. I'll let you out. Quote. Danzo stood there stunned. The second generation looked at the stern scolding, and Hiruzen remained silent next to it. His whole body felt as if his soul had been hit by an indescribable blow, and he turned around and left the Hokage building while stumbling. And Hiruzen is also worried about his friend's condition. After bowing to the teacher, he went to chase Danzo. Senju Tobirama rubbed his eyebrows and sighed. Third brother, did I do something wrong? They are all my disciples, do they really deny me any power? Second brother, you did nothing wrong. Uchiha Kagami shook his head and said, you also know Danzo's temperament. He will not risk his life for Konoha. He is just greedy for the position of Hokage. If you really give him too many rights, it will cause Konoha huge and unpredictable losses. Only by solving the root cause can Konoha be worry-free. Okay, root organization members. Who are you planning to recruit? Tobirama asked again. Let's select some elites from the Uchiha clan. They are excellent in all aspects. Grandmaster Sharingan, no one is more suitable than them. Okay, you can figure it out yourself. Senju Tobirama did not refuse. Because the war is over, the Uchiha clan no longer serves as the Konoha police department. The Hyuga clan is replaced by the Hyuga clan to maintain law and order, and although he does not like the Uchiha clan, the root organization accepts supervises the Hokage. It mainly conducts a series of secret missions such as intelligence, missions, and assassinations to the outside world. Therefore, there is almost no conflict with the village, and with the presence of Uchiha Kagami, he believes that those Uchiha will not mess around. Konoha village. On the telephone pole. Danzo stared blankly at the Hokage rock without saying a word. Sarutobi Hiruzen appeared at this time and stood on the telephone pole next to him, thinking for a long time not knowing how to comfort him. Danzo, don't blame the teacher, he has his own reasons too. What's the reason? Danzo's eyes became more and more gloomy. I am his disciple. I have followed him for so many years. Why in the end, I have nothing. Hiruzen, don't forget, you had a chance to inherit the third Hokage. But since the mirror saved the teacher, everything has changed. Yes, everything has changed. The teacher's eyes no longer fall on us, your Hokage position is gone, and my Hokage assistant has also been ruined. Who do you think is responsible for all of this? I have no idea. Hiruzen felt aggrieved, but he is an honest person and does not want to slander others behind their backs. Haha, just deceive yourself. Danzo sneered. Uchiha Kagami, it was him. Ever since he saved the teacher seems to have changed. Everything must be discussed with Jing. You and I are like air. If this is the case, I can still accept it. But Uchiha Kagami promised me at the beginning. He promised me that when the time comes, he will elect me to be the third Hokage, but now he has gone back on his promise. How dare he do this to me? How dare he? Well, he also agreed to elect me. Quote. Danzo was stunned for a moment, and then said angrily, this old man, he not only deceived us, but also squeezed us out of the center of power. Now he even encouraged the teacher to form the root organization and made him the leader of the root organization. Uchiha Kagami can kill Hokage first and then strike back. What is the concept of this? Doesn't this mean that he is superior to Hokage? In the future, Hokage will be controlled by him at will. Such Konoha, what future will there be in the future? If you don't let me be the Hokage, Konoha will decline sooner or later. Quote. Hiruzen sighed helplessly. Although what Danzo said is right, some of it is actually wrong. He thinks that Uchiha Kagami instigated the second-generation project, but the teacher is not someone who can be instigated easily. Since he did so, he must have his own considerations. As for Danzo as Hokage, Hiruzen actually disagrees even more because he knows his best friend well. His personality is a bit too extreme, and he is actually not suitable for being a Hokage, but he can't hurt their feelings by saying so. Hiruzen, do you think I'm being extreme? Danzo asked suddenly. I didn't. Hiruzen quibbled. Sure enough, even you think so. You are my best friend. How could I be extreme? I am all for Konoha. I know, you are here for Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen felt tired. He has now understood the other person's heart. When he had to deal with Hanzo, he still had the courage to go on the offensive, but as a good friend, Danzo just said nothing. Doesn't this explain the problem? Since you don't dare to sacrifice for Konoha, how can you talk about doing it for Konoha? Too lazy to be serious with him and tired of comforting him, Sarutobi Hiruzen turned and left, leaving Danzo alone in a daze. Okay, do this to me. Danzo gradually became ferocious in his heart. Uchiha Kagami, you dare to trick me. I won't let you go, just wait for me. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, 4 years have passed. Konoha 41, Summer, Uchiha Clan Land. In the huge courtyard of the Patriarch, 2 young men were competing in sword skills. Clang, dang, dang, dang. Although the two are not very old. But his sword skills are already very proficient, no less than those of ninjas who have graduated for many years. One of them had a lumpy nose, a pair of big black eyes, and the sword skills in his hand were dazzling. Constantly approaching the opponent, trying to find the opponent's weaknesses. The other one had short silver white hair and was holding a white ninja sword to keep resisting. Although he was a little embarrassed, he was still outstanding. Fire style great fireball technique. Water style water barrier. The young man saw that his sword skills could not defeat the opponent. He immediately retreated a few steps, quickly formed seals with his hands, and the fireball collided with the water wall. A large amount of water mist evaporated immediately. Soon, they reached a stalemate. Logically speaking, the two are similar in age, and their sword skills are from the same school. There should be no one who is stronger than anyone else, but Shisui is from the Uchiha clan and is born with more chakra than ordinary ninjas. And Kakashi simply couldn't stay in a stalemate for too long. Finally, his legs and feet went weak and he almost fell to the ground. But Shisui stepped aside, supported him and sat next to him, making Kakashi a little frustrated. It's so difficult. I still can't beat you. I'm still too weak. Shisui encouraged me gently. You are very strong, but I have more chakra than you. When we grow up, with more chakra, it will not be so easy to tell the winner. All right. The two teenagers looked at each other and smiled. Arriving at the back of the courtyard, there are 2 wooden wicker chairs. Uchiha Kagami and Hitaki Tsukumo were drinking iced juice leisurely. After a while, they finally recovered. Bang bang, bang bang bang. Both of them clapped in unison. Wow, what a hearty battle. Uchiha Kagami said gently. You are worthy of being my Shisui, and worthy of being the son of White Fang. Your talent is indeed very strong. In the future, you may have the opportunity to be a Hokage. Thank you, Uncle Jing, for your praise. Kakashi was a little shy. I haven't thought about being a Hokage or anything. Anyway, my goal is to catch up with Shisui. Ha ha ha, what a good boy, he knows how to be satisfied. Uchiha Kagami blinked. Tsukumo, you really gave birth to a good son. Even my uncle is envious. I envy you. Don't think I don't know that Shisui knows more than that. Hitaki swordsmanship is just the basics. Tsukumo said helplessly. Kakashi is still far behind. How about being a Hokage? This is a bit too much. Please stop praising me. Children can easily become proud. Haha, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with encouraging education. Besides, Kakashi is really excellent. This is a fact. Uchiha Kagami smiled half-heartedly and said, besides, Kakashi is really qualified to be a Hokage. Who can say for sure what will happen in the future? Right. If Kakashi could be the Hokage, the Hitaki family's ancestral graves would be filled with smoke. Hitaki Tsukumo shrugged. He didn't care, even though he had the talent to see through other people's talents. But it is not a prophecy, so it cannot predict the future. In his eyes, although Kakashi has good talent, if there are no other opportunities, the upper limit is the level of elite Jonin. But his Tsukumo's current prestige, already second only to second Hokage and Kagami, but Orochimaru took over as early as the year before last. Second Hokage retreats behind the scenes, which makes him, to a certain extent, the most powerful among the veteran ninjas. Plus the operation of the mirror. Get some good ninjutsu resources for Kakashi. This made him very grateful for Jing's help and regarded him as his best friend. Shisui, come to Grandpa's arms. Okay, Shisui smiled. Sitting in Uchiha Kagami's arms. He liked his grandpa's arms very much and felt warm every time. And since Uchiha Kagami became a grandfather, he has become more gentle. I have to say that it is really sweet to have a grandson. Well, it smells better than my son. Now, when Shisui is still little, she can still hold her and rub her, but when she grows up, she won't be able to. Not to mention that the world of Hokage is so precociously drawn that children aged 4 or 5 look like teenagers, and teenagers look like they are in their 20s. By the time the next war breaks out, it will probably only be a few years away. Shisui was lying in his arms eating grapes, with curiosity on his young face. Grandpa, I want to know, how did you and Uncle Tsukumo join forces to defeat the third Kage and finally bring them back to the village? I also want to know. Kakashi also raised his hands and said excitedly, this is the battle for fame between two uncles. Father, are you, as the rumors say, using our Hatake sword skills, to force the third Kage to retreat? Well, Hatake Tsukumo was embarrassed. Although he was not weak at the time, he did not have Kage-level strength at all. Not to mention the one who is known as the strongest wind shadow. At that time, he was actually no different from paddling, and his cooperation was a bit useless. But no matter what, under Konoha's momentum, Tsukumo was blown away. Coupled with Kage's repeated impressive achievements after that, the ninja world thought that he was also very awesome, and even had the terrifying ability to capture Kage alive. To be honest, he's really not that strong. What the? It's all slander, slander. Seeing his father silent, Kakashi couldn't sit still. Of course, Hatake swordsmanship is the top swordsmanship in the ninja world. At that time, Tsukumo chopped the sand iron of the third Kage with one sword. Uchiha Kagami smiled and patted his forehead. Then with my Sharingan's subsequent cooperation, we jointly won the third Kage. Your father is very strong. Otherwise, why are you called the two heroes of Konoha with me? Really, Tsukumo. Having said this, Uchiha Kagami also turned his head and blinked at Tsukumo. Hatake Tsukumo smiled stiffly and said insincerely, yes, that was indeed the case at the time, but it was mainly because of the mirror. Sure enough, I knew my father was awesome. Kakashi clenched his fists. Her young face was full of admiration. The same is true for Shisui. After all, there is no need to brag about Kage's strength. No matter which battle is shown, it is a legend that can hardly be replicated, and my grandfather is also the most awesome. The two teenagers are very active. After not staying long, we went to the corner to play together. After they left, Hatake Tsukumo wiped the sweat from his forehead and said, Mirror, the outside world has praised me as a god. What if I really take on an S-level mission, but I fail and get beaten? I don't care about winning or losing, but I don't want to lose face in front of my children. It doesn't matter, you can give it away as you like, I'll take care of Kakashi for you. Quote ? You're kidding, we are all veteran ninjas. Uchiha Kagami smiled. I won't send out missions casually. Besides, there are so many S-level missions. Don't worry. Kage-sama, Tsukumo-sama. Suddenly, an Anbu appears in front of them. He looked very respectful and said anxiously, sorry, the new Nine-Tails Jinchuriki was lost and kidnapped by Cloud Shinobi Village. It's been half a day. Second generation Misama has issued an S-class mission. I hope Tsukumo-sama will dispatch as soon as possible to recapture Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. What? Hatake Tsukumo was shocked. Nine-Tails Jinchuriki was lost. How did it get lost? Uchiha Kagami suddenly frowned and said with a sharp expression, such an important person is left unguarded. There are so many police officers in Konoha, and the Hyuga clan is just doing nothing, but they actually let Cloud Shinobi Village sneak in. I'm sorry, Master Jing, I don't know either. Okay, I'm not mad at you. Tsukumo doesn't know how to fly Thunder God. When we get there, Ninetails will become the village next door. I'll go by myself. You tell the second brother, he won't blame you. Ninetails, I will bring it back. Yes, Lord Mirror. Mirror, thanks. Tsukumo also breathed a sigh of relief, but frowned and said, but the other party has been away for a long time, and the area is so large. How are you going to search for it? The method is very simple. Mirror closed her eyes. A faint white light emitted from the body. The spirit body emits mental waves that sweep across the entire ninja world. He immediately found the target, raised his hand and threw out the flying Thunder God darts continuously, and disappeared after a few jumps. Night, Fire Nation, on the northeastern border. A red-haired girl was tied up all over. Whirlpool Kushina walked step by step with her head lowered and helpless. She was very desperate inside. This is already the closest border to the Kingdom of Thunder. As long as you cross the border, it won't take long to reach the enemy's territory. By the time, I was completely hopeless. Even if she was smart enough to leave her hair down and give Konoha a clue to follow, it was still unknown whether she could find it. So tired, so sleepy. Kushina felt very tired. After walking for a long time, she fell to the ground. But she was roughly pulled up by the ninjas of Cloud Shinobi Village. Looking at the bright moon shining in the night sky, Kushina became more and more sad. And at this moment, in the darkness not far away, Uchiha Kagami watched silently. When he was about to take action, he found a handsome young man with yellow hair quietly following behind the 4 or 5 ninjas in Rain Shinobi Village. Isn't this the protagonist's father? Uchiha Kagami suddenly remembered something and thought to himself, is this scene the highlight of his heroic rescue of the beauty? These ninjas are just genin, and Minato can handle it well enough. And it seems that it was because of saving Kushina. The two fell in love, and the protagonist Naruto was born from their union. It would be a bit bad if he interfered in advance and ruined the relationship between the two of them, and Naruto couldn't be born. So, he watched silently. And not long after, Minato took action and acted very decisively. Without any mercy, he raised his hand and took away each and every Cloud Shinobi ninja, leaving only the last enemy in the blink of an eye. Just as Minato approached quietly, he planned to deliver a fatal blow. Suddenly, a sudden change occurred, and the ninja actually discovered him. He raised his hand to knock his kunai away, and pinched his wrist with his right hand. This reaction speed made Minato look surprised. You're not Chunin. Who are you? I am the head of the Cloud Shinobi Ninja. In order to take down the Ninetails Jinchuriki, I personally led the Jonin team. Otherwise, how could I have concealed it from the Hyuga clan? I thought no one would come to save her, but I didn't expect that a genius boy from Konoha would be recruited. Go to hell. Cloud Shinobi smiled grimly. Killing intent burst out from his eyes, and the blade was covered with lightning-style chakra. This technique is undoubtedly at Jonin's level. He can't stop such a sharp attack, and the shadow of death hangs over his head. Poof. However, the next second, a red light flashed. The blade was defeated easily, and someone cut it in half with a single blow. With a plop, the broken body fell to the ground. Cloud Shinobi held his head, vomiting blood, fear and despair. Konoha's red flash. I didn't expect you to be here. I didn't die unjustly. It's a pity. Ninetails. Uchiha Kagami looked him up and down, and couldn't help but murmur in his mind, it's actually Jonin. Or Cloud Shinobi, isn't this guy the one who kidnapped Hinata in the first place? This will make everything fine and avoid future troubles. It was 3 ninja battles at the beginning. Originally, Cloud Shinobi Village came to Konoha to sign a truce agreement. As a result, the ninja who sneaked into the Hyuga family and tried to kidnap Hyuga's eldest daughter was beaten to death on the spot by the Hyuga clan leader, and was bidden back and asked Konoha to compensate. At that time, Hiruzen succeeded to the throne in order to prevent Konoha from falling into war again. At the same time, in order to weaken the Hyuga clan, the clan leader had no choice but to let his younger brother take the blame. Hazashi was willing to die, but this did not prevent the conflict between the branch house and the clan from intensifying. The death of Hyuga Hazashi also made Neji hate the clan. But now, it seems to have been resolved in advance. Kagami has no interest in the Hyuga clan, but Hizashi is okay if he doesn't die. He has no other purpose, he simply wants Neji to have a father, nothing more. And the moment I saw the mirror, Minato was immediately overjoyed and showed admiration. Mirror-sama, why are you here? As expected of Red Flash, a flying thunder god can kill Jonin. The flying thunder god technique is really amazing, and it's great that second generation created it. Really? Want to learn? I'll teach you. Huh, really? The boy Minato was overjoyed. Just as she was about to say something, Kushina was about to faint from exhaustion. Minato ducked in front of her, not only helped the girl up, but also held her in his arms, holding a strand of red hair in his hand. Kushina was stunned. Is this my hair? Minato looked down and showed a sunny smile. Your red hair is very beautiful. I noticed it immediately and came to save you alone. Kushina tilted her head arrogantly. I don't need your help. Minato smiled softly. I know, you are very strong, both in terms of strength and heart, but I can't control my body and I want to save you, so I came. Nonsense. Kushina blushed. Uchiha Kagami was silent on the surface. But in my mind, I only made a 6. Minato is really talented. This high-end seduction technique puts even him to shame. Naruto is such a dull boy. How come he didn't inherit anything from his father? The girl's blushing face. Minato was stunned by her beautiful cheeks. You look so pretty when you blush. You're talking nonsense. I'm serious, you are the prettiest I have ever seen. Enough. Uchiha Kagami couldn't stand it anymore. You two, stop showing off your affection to me here. Tell me in detail, why were you kidnapped? The Hyuga clan's police department, why didn't they find you? And why did the barrier fail? That, Kushina said with a guilty conscience. It's not that the barrier of the village has failed, it's that I happened to be unhappy and went to play outside the village, and it was a bit far away, so I was kidnapped by the Cloud Shinobi village ninja. It's all my fault. I'm willing to accept the punishment. You can't blame Kushina. Someone in the village bullied her and thought she was a red-haired monster. That's why she ran away. She didn't mean it. The young man Minato defended. If it's punishment, punish me. I'm willing to bear any punishment for her. I don't want it. The girl's face turned red again. But she still twisted her body very proudly. Uchiha Kagami didn't want to watch anymore, so he went back with Minato and Kushina. For the sake of clarity, second generation did not punish them, even though both of them had graduated several years ago. But Minato's rescue was successful, which is considered to be a balance between merit and demerit. Only, Jing was puzzled as to why Cloud Shinobi Village was so stubborn. After losing so miserably in the second Shinobu battle, he actually dared to steal the Nine Tails Jinchuriki this time. Didn't his family also have a Jinchuriki? While he was walking and thinking, suddenly he frowned, and he noticed a vague sense of peeping, just when he was about to use his spiritual perception. A girl grinned innocently. Hey, did you find me? Are you, White Zetsu? You got it right. As a reward, can you give me a piece of shit? Quote? Uchiha Kagami's face was filled with questions. But after thinking for a moment, he understood the other party's true identity. It's not just White Zetsu, but a fae, who is different from most White Zetsu, is very curious about things with strong taste like poop. But he is also the most special White Zetsu. In the original 4-war package, Yamato used a low-end version of True Several Thousand Hands to stop Gomura's shadow, and his combat power must be above Chaukage's. And the appearance of the other party. Let him guess a little. Uchiha Kagami chuckled. Madara asked you to spy on me. Worry. I regret it, right? Ale, you are so smart, but don't say it so harshly. After all, we are all partners who will work together in the future. A fae licked the corner of his mouth and couldn't help but said, as a gift for our meeting, I will give you the information you want, and you will give me a piece of your shit. Speak quickly. If you keep talking nonsense, I'll kill you. Well, the reason why Cloud Shinobi Village kidnapped Nine Tails Jinchuriki is because their village's 8 tails went berserk some time ago and they haven't found a suitable new Jinchuriki yet. No wonder. Uchiha Kagami suddenly understood. In other words, Killer Bee has become 8 tails Jinchuriki for the time being. At this time, Killer Bee seems to be only 9 years old. It seems that he has just become the partner of fourth Raikage in the future, but his potential as a perfect Jinchuriki has not yet been discovered. Is there any other information? Jing asked. Gone. No, you still have it. Uchiha Kagami wears the aura of Jonin Kai no darkness. Immediately, his temperament became gloomy. This temperament made a Fei's scalp numb and he couldn't help but speak. Because your eyesight is declining, there is a risk of blindness. Madara-sama plans to choose another plan executor. The target is a child named Obito, who seems to be about the same age as your grandson. Oh, keep talking. In addition, Madara-sama. No, I can't say, no. Madara-sama also asked me to monitor Shisui, because you attach great importance to him, and he hopes to control your grandson, to prevent Project Tasuki no Mi from happening. Madara, you are looking for death. Hear this. Uchiha Kagami's eyes were filled with murderous intent. The chakra faintly spread out, and cracks appeared on the ground. Anyone, you can't even touch Shisui. Even if that person is Uchiha Madara, he's going to make him pay. This powerful aura shocked Fei, causing his whole body to tremble. Are you going to go blind? It's so fierce. I can't do it anymore. I'm going to pee. No, I don't have the urge to pee, I'm going to poop. Well, I can't seem to pull it out. I don't have a skin swallow, and I don't have a rectum. Anyway, the Loon family is so scared, so scared. And now Uchiha Kagami. After injecting Hashirama cells, awakening wood-style Mangekyō had no side effects. In the past few years, the popularity of passers-by has increased, causing his chakra volume to accumulate to 500,000 points, and his strength is not much worse than the normal Hashirama. Now, the only thing missing is the magic. As long as he has magic, he has nothing to fear even if Madara resurrects him. But here comes the problem. The senjutsu of Mount Myoboku and Ruchi Cave both have their own shortcomings. One will have frog eyes and the other will have dragon horns. But it's not just about appearance. Although Naruto also learned the senjutsu from Mount Myoboku, the senjutsu blessing was not very strong. Even if Kabuto later learned Ruchi Cave's senjutsu, he was completely tortured by the two brothers Uchiha Itachi and Sasuke, and was completely inferior to Hashirama's senjutsu. But, where did Hashirama's senjutsu come from? A sacred place rarely mentioned in the original work, Shigu Forest. However, Mount Myoboku, Shigulan, and Ruchi Cave are all sacred places. Logically speaking, the increase in senjutsu will not be much different. So why is it so outrageous for Hashirama to learn senjutsu? It can be deduced from this. The strength of the magic increase still depends on the individual's strength. Naruto's massive chakra comes from 9 tails, but he doesn't have much individual chakra. Excluding the 9 tails mode, Naruto's individual strength is actually inferior to Hashirama, so the increase in senjutsu is not that outrageous. Certainly, in addition to the 3 holy places, there is another possibility. That is, Hashirama is born as a sage body. Not only can he heal without seals, but he can also absorb natural energy without going to a holy place. And the self-created magic is definitely more compatible with itself, and it is understandable that the increase will be larger. But these two, no matter which one, he needs to slowly verify it. Fei waved his hand and said cautiously, "This boss, those words were said by Madara and have nothing to do with me. Can I leave?" "You can leave, but bring a message to him for me." "Boss, tell me, don't try to control everything, or it will come back to bite you." Uchiha Kagami said coldly, "Let Madara wait patiently for Project Tasuki no Mi to be launched. I will look for opportunities to resurrect him in the future. But I dare not touch a hair on Shisui. I will make him regret living in this world. The land of wind, Sunagaku. This is one of the poorest great ninja villages in the ninja world. Due to the year-round sandy environment, the entire Sunagaku is miserable, and even the film industry has to find ways to make money. As the strongest cage, the magnet style in one hand can crush minerals, and selling minerals has become his main way to make money. But now he couldn't care about that, because he was captured alive in the second ninja battle, which caused his prestige in the village to plummet. Plus Ebizo's push. In the past few days, he had to choose the candidate for fourth cage. And Ebizo will also fight against him. This is actually not much different from civil strife, because even his death will follow him. Konoha Village, Uchiha Tribe Land. Jing returned to the courtyard and sat down not long ago. Senju Tobarama knocked on the door and came in. Uchiha Kagami hurriedly stood up to greet him, pretending to be angry. Second brother, why are you here? You two, tell me in advance. I will send someone to pick you up. Don't worry about your body. I'm old, it's not like I can't move. Besides, if you let the evil Uchiha, let those people pick me up, you might as well let me come here by myself. Senju Tobarama's words made him laugh. Since the second generation project has been put behind the scenes, the two often talk all night long. But it is precisely because of Uchiha Kagami, otherwise he would not take the initiative to come to the Uchiha clanland. Even if he eats shit, it would be impossible. It is not easy to get him to make these changes. The two were sitting on chairs facing each other. Even though they were 35 years apart in age, Senju Tobarama regarded the mirror as his own brother. We can even say, in a way, more trust than Hashirama. Why? Because the establishment of root tissue gives the mirror very great rights. As the leader of Root, Uchiha Kagami is no less than the real leader of Konoha. After all, as long as the current Hokage makes any threatening move against Konoha, it can be strangled in the cradle. As for the daimyo, the daimyo has the right to name the Hokage's position. But he has no right to let Konoha change the leader of the Root, so as long as the Root is there, Hokage will not threaten Konoha. As for the mirror person, Tobarama trusts him completely, he trusts him unconditionally. The mirror will never threaten Konoha, and it will never let Konoha decline. Of course, the reason why Jing is so calm is that the favorability between the two of them is almost full, almost 99 points. Second brother, why did you come to see me? Jing asked curiously. I noticed that you broke out chakra, although it wasn't much, but you seemed to be enraged. This is the first time I noticed that you were so angry. What was the reason? Tobarama asked. It's nothing. Second brother, you think too much. Really? Real? Okay, then let me ask you. Senju Tobarama glanced at the flame fan hanging on the wall, and his expression became serious. I remember that when Uchiha Madara left Konoha, he took away a large number of ninja tools from the Uchiha clan, including this flame fan. So, where did you get it? Well, Uchiha Kagami was stunned for a second. He glanced at the flame ball fan and looked slightly unnatural. Second brother, you are so observant. I just accidentally picked up this fan on the roadside when I went to Kurigakure before. Picked it up. Okay, let me ask you. Senju Tobarama spoke again. I originally asked you to investigate third Mizukage, but you took your own initiative and brought him back. You explained it specifically for yourself. I didn't notice anything was wrong at first. Later, I sent Anbu to Kurigakure secretly to investigate, and found that the third Mizukage seemed to have different habits a few years ago, but this subtle difference. The people in Kurigakure did not notice it. But according to my experience, there is a high probability that it was controlled by illusion. Was it you? I did it, I admit it. Why, second brother, I don't want to lie to you. Uchiha Kagami gritted his teeth. For the first time, he showed his true feelings. Then don't lie to me, Jing. I regard you as my brother. Senju Tobarama said with a low expression. So I cannot target Uchiha, I can cancel the power of their police department. To be honest, if the eldest brother is alive, he may doubt who is the real brother. Danzo and Hiruzen are not suitable to be Hokage, okay. I listen to you, you said Orochimaru is suitable, okay, I still listen to you. Mirror, Tobarama, ask yourself. I haven't treated you badly in these years, right? Right, then why can't you tell me? Senju Tobarama couldn't hide his sadness, of course this is your right. I also believe that you will not harm Konoha, and I will not take office again, depriving you of your rights, I will never do that. But the mirror, I don't have many years to live, you know. Okay, second brother, let me tell you, okay. Uchiha Kagami couldn't bear it anymore. When you asked me to investigate Kurigakure, I actually met Uchiha Madara, and the flame ball fan was snatched back from him. The third Mizukage was controlled by me at first, but was later taken away by him. Quote exclamation mark. Quote. Senju Tobarama was no longer calm. You mean, Madara is still alive? And you also fought against him? No, I know you are very strong, but will it not be enough to face Uchiha Madara? It was just a clone. My strength was average at the time, but I still defeated him. Uchiha Kagami said confidently. Now, after many years, with my current strength, even if I meet Madara at his peak, even if I can't win, I won't lose. Then Madara returns again. What's the purpose? For Project Tsuki no Mi, but what do you say about this plan? In fact, it is not very useful. That pretty much explains it. Tobirama roughly understood it, but was too lazy to think about it. Anyway, he will be tired of it in a few years, so these things can just make the lens hurt. Anyway, the lens will not let Konoha decline. And it seems that Tobirama is not interested. Uchiha Kagami didn't think so. When the time comes, not only you, the second brother, but also the eldest brother will also come to help. Stopping Uchiha Madara is no big deal. But those who claim to be Otsutsuki, the heavenly beings, are more difficult to deal with than the last. I am not sure. While the two were chatting happily, suddenly, with a swoosh, someone appeared. Anbu knelt down on one knee and said with a respectful expression, Master Second Generation, I have urgent information to report to you. Explain. There is civil unrest in Sunagaku. Well, what's the result? No. Not very clear. Quote ? Aren't you talking nonsense? I didn't know there was civil strife in Sunagaku. Senju Tobirama rolled his eyes at him. This frightened Anbu to death, and Uchiha Kagami put on the halo of darkness of the ninja world and showed a gentle smile. Don't be afraid, second generation will not eat people. Think about it carefully. I know, you have information. Now reorganize the language report. I really want to remember. Anbu replied. As a result of the civil strife, the third case cage failed to keep its position, and someone became the fourth case cage. Well, your name is Luo Sha, right? It's not, it's called Scorpion. What the hell, Scorpion, did you make a mistake? What about Luo Sha? Jing asked. Anbu Hui reported. Rasa was wanted by Sunagaku for the crime of assassinating third case cage, and now he has defected. Uchiha Kagami. Operator. Quote ! Quote. Luo Sha defected. Or because of the assassination of the third case cage. But Scorpion took over and became the fourth case cage. Uchiha Kagami feels a little confused. Why doesn't this plot follow the routine? Shouldn't it be that Scorpion assassinated the third case cage, causing him to defect, and Rasa ascended to become the fourth case cage? What the hell is this? Senju Tobirama was surprised why the mirror was shocked, and couldn't help but ask, Third brother, what are you shocked about? There is civil strife in Sunagaku. Isn't it normal to choose fourth case cage? Why did you seem to be sure that it was Luo Shatang fourth case cage? And not the one named Scorpion? Is there any inside story in this? I'll explain to you later. Uchiha Kagami hurriedly asked. Let me ask you, what are the specific details of the civil strife in Sunagaku's political struggle? Tell me everything, without leaving anything out. Yes, Lord Mirror, Anbu said respectfully. When the second ninja war broke out, because you killed Chiyo and captured third case cage alive. Sunagaku was the first to surrender. Chiyo's death made Ebizo hold a grudge. At the same time, he also believed that the third case cage was no longer suitable to continue to govern, so he encouraged the people to slander the third case cage. The influence of the third case cage was weakening day by day, and the daimyo of the Land of Wind seemed to be interested in nominating others. But the third case cage did not sit still and waited for death, so he ordered the young Scorpion to assassinate Ebizo, but was found out and imprisoned. Etc. Uchiha Kagami frowned. Isn't Scorpion the grandson of Chiyo? Ebizo is Chiyo's biological brother, doesn't that mean the former is the latter's great uncle? Scorpion has a crazy mind. Why did he want to assassinate Ebizo? Anbu explained. Because after the third case cage returned to Sunagaku, he accepted Shie as his disciple. At the same time, Akatsuki moved him with emotion and reason, and made Shie understand that he went to fight you with the determination to die. For the sake of his dead grandmother and parents, he was finally willing to give up the dignity of the cage, and was humiliated by Konoha as a prisoner, but Ebizo only talked about it, and didn't really do anything for Chiyo's revenge. So, the young Scorpion believed that Ebizo was half responsible for the death of his parents, so he went to assassinate Ebizo. Quote. Uchiha Kagami suddenly understood. Good guy, that's what happened. According to the original plot of Scorpion's assassination of the third Kazekage, it actually happened within the past few years. He was actually about the same age as Nagato, around 10 years old. And the reason why Scorpion assassinated third Kazekage. In fact, the main reason is because of the death of his parents and the inaction of third Kazekage. Therefore, he hated third Kazekage and killed him, but due to the butterfly effect caused by himself, third Kazekage was not inactive. Instead, had a battle with myself. Almost dying and being captured made Shie very touched. Although Ebizo is his great-uncle, in this world of Hokage, not to mention relatives, brothers can help you for a while. After all, there is a world with a tradition of killing teachers. Once you are a teacher, you will always be a father. Even your father can give it to you. What a piece of shit is your great-uncle. Thinking about it this way, Uchiha Kagami understood. As for the failure of the assassination, it is actually normal. After all, although Ebizo is average in strength, he is too cunning to succeed so easily. After all, Shie was also his sister's grandson, and he couldn't kill him. Then, he was temporarily detained in prison. Uchiha Kagami said, "What happened next?" "Keep talking." Anbu replied. Due to the failure of Scorpion's assassination attempt on Ebizo, Ebizo was worried that the other party would take action against the third Kazekage, so he dispatched his confidant, Rasa. This young man, who also has the limit of blood inheritance, magnet style, can control massive amounts of sand gold, was once the most qualified young man to be a Kazekage, but he has not yet grown up, and was easily defeated by the third Kazekage. However, the crime of assassinating the third Kazekage was avoided. In the end, Rasa was defeated by the third Kazekage and defected, becoming an S-class traitor. Ebizo was executed on the spot for the crime of instigating the assassination of the Kazekage. Scorpion was naturally acquitted, and became the youngest fourth Kazekage. However, due to his young age, he will not be in power for a few years. Currently, the third Kazekage is still in power behind the scenes, with Scorpion assisting on the side. Quote. Uchiha Kagami understands. It seems that the plot here seems a bit complicated. But in fact, to put it bluntly, the positions of Shie and Luo Sha have been exchanged. However, Shie needs to be cultivated for a while because he is still young. As for Luo Sha, being a rebel would be an advantage for him. Anyway, this inhumane beast Luo Sha has always treated his son as a tool. After all, Gaara was really miserable when she was young. Her mother died early and her father didn't love her. Her parents died early. If it weren't for Naruto's redemption, she would have turned dark. And Gaara was raised by her uncle Yashimaru, and is just such a relative. After finally having a little emotional bond, Rasa actually wanted to judge Gaara's value to see if he could suppress his emotions and control Shukaku, so he sent Yashimaru to assassinate Gaara. Yashimaru was accidentally killed by Gaara. Then the tailed beast went berserk, and Rasa thought Gaara was a failure. Good guy. They are so nice, but you have to stimulate them like this. It caused the family's emotional breakdown, and the instigator thought that his son was a failure. What the hell, is he not a beast? Wrong. They are worse than beasts. The key is, Rasa didn't want to give up the tailed beast weapon yet, so he kept sending people to assassinate Gaara. In the end, Gaara became lonely, bloodthirsty, and indifferent, becoming a weapon that only knew how to kill. This Luasha is totally inappropriate. Moreover, Luasha's own strength is also very inferior, not comparable to the third Kazekage at all, and his ability to govern is also lacking. Apart from his ability to control placer gold, to help provide funds for the village, he is almost useless. If you look at it this way. On the contrary, Scorpion is the most suitable candidate for Kazekage. At least Scorpion's puppets can make up for the lack of Sunagaku's ninja reserves, and they are even more powerful than Chiyo in using poison, so they have a lot to do when they grow up. Wait until Anbu leaves. Senju Tobarama couldn't help but sigh and said, as expected, our village is better. All other villages are in chaos, but our village is very stable. There is no political struggle. Quote. Uchiha Kagami was speechless. In the future, our village will be much more chaotic than others. Whether the ninja world is in chaos or not depends on whether there are rebel ninjas in Konoha village. Especially the Uchiha clan is more arrogant than the last. Uchiha Itachi killed his relatives and wiped out the entire clan, and Uchiha Obito started the Fourth Ninja War. Sasuke rebelled against the village. Nu was blasted by the Five Shadows, and beaten to vomit blood by Raikage. This hard-charging king was beaten all the way while pretending to be cool, and Sasuke seemed to be a little distracted. But who makes him the protagonist? And compared to Uchiha Itachi and Obito, who are extreme and want to lose their parents, Urzu is already the most sane person in Uchiha. Originally Jingting didn't like Sasuke's pretense, after all, he always failed to show off. But now I think about the group of people who were forced to lose their Rinnegan by the second pillar in Boruto Legend, who were slapped and forced to fight by passers-by, after sneaking into the enemy's forces, but they dared to be angry and dare not express their grievances. If it were the past, with Urzu's character, if a passing dog barks at him, he will receive an Amaterasu. Jing suddenly felt, Urzuzi just keeps showing off like this, there's actually nothing wrong with that. Konoha 44 years, ended due to civil unrest in Sunagaku. It has stabilized again and the third case cage has not disappeared like in the original work. Therefore, there is no need for Hatake Tsukumo to sneak into the investigation personally. Tsukumo seems to have escaped the fate of suicide. Kakashi did not lose his father at a young age and did not wear a mask. It is worth mentioning that Shisui and Kakashi graduated at the age of 5. Promoted to Chunin at the age of 6, he is now 7 years old. Together they broke the graduation record and became an outstanding ninja in just 1 year. As a legend of the ninja school, they were favored and loved by countless girls. So far, he became the leader of the list of 2 young men to be punished. Especially Obito was very depressed because Rin also liked Kakashi and Shisui. But Obito doesn't hate Shisui. On the one hand, he is the eldest grandson of the clan leader, and on the other hand, Shisui is gentle and polite to others. In addition, they are both from the Uchiha clan, so they have a good relationship. And Kakashi is too cool and loves to be a fooling around. It's so annoying. And Rin also particularly likes Kakashi, well, hate multiplied by 1,000 times. This day, Obito is out of school, looking gloomy. At this time, a boy of the same age wearing a forehead protector and big eyes walked over to the school gate, causing the girls around him to scream wildly. Ah! Shisui actually came to school. My male god, my male god. He is so handsome, he has perfectly inherited the majestic appearance of the patriarch. Look here, he's here, I can't survive. Obito suddenly became very depressed. Look at you, you made everyone crazy when you appeared. Leave quickly, we can't stay here anymore. Yeah, let's go. Shisui smiled slightly. The two left here side by side. As the two walked, Obito asked, don't you have any missions today? Why are you back? I remember, ninjas who have just graduated have a lot of missions. It's done. Those tasks are very simple. They were completed in the morning. Shisui shrugged his shoulders and said helplessly, these low-level tasks are too boring. I originally wanted to apply to go out, but my grandfather didn't allow me to go. He thought that I haven't even awakened Sharingan yet, and it would be dangerous to go out because I am too weak. Huh, are you still weak? I can't even survive your 3 moves. Obito was shocked. Haha, let's not talk about this anymore, let's go to my house, let's eat barbecue and cake together. Today is my grandfather's birthday party. The barbecue invented by my grandfather is delicious, let's go and eat together. This is not good, is it? Obito is a little scared. Although Jing is very kind, he is still a majestic patriarch. In addition, he is from the Uchiha clan, and he has a fear of being a poor student when meeting his parents. He always feels that he will be scolded for failing to live up to his expectations. Even though the patriarch is not that kind of person. But he is still a little timid, but the barbecue invented by the patriarch is really delicious. Some weird condiments are added, but it tastes spicy and fragrant anyway, and there are weird side dishes and drinks every time. Thinking of this, he swallowed. Okay, I know you want to go. Grandpa is very kind to others. Shisui pulled him away and didn't allow him to refuse. When the time comes, we children will share a table, and they adults will share a table, it won't have any impact. Who else besides me? Obito asked curiously. The kids are just 4 or 5 of us, you and I, Kakashi and the others. I don't know about the adults table, but there won't be too many people. Shisui explained patiently. Most of them are close friends of my grandfather. Those with ordinary connections will not come. Don't worry. That's good, I haven't had barbecue for a long time. Obito still couldn't hold it back. So he went with him and came to the patriarch's house. The Uchiha clan chief's home is certainly big, with a large courtyard of 300 to 400 square meters, 3 small buildings of 4 or 5 floors, and an artificial fish tank feeding more than a dozen koi. There are also many tall green plants dotting the courtyard. This home is luxurious and a little simple, but it is enough to show the authority of the patriarch. And Uchiha Kagami, he is 32 years old this year and still looks young. Especially after being injected with Hashirama cell solution, I have very strong vitality and look no different from when I was in my 20s. As for why there was a birthday party, originally he didn't want to, but his second brother forced him. It is always said that he has only a few years to live. After all, Senju Tobarama is 67 years old this year, although his appearance does not show aging. But Uchiha Kagami is still keenly aware that his lifespan is approaching. Then, he holds a birthday party every year. But I won't make a big fuss and just invite some friends and juniors. In order not to make Senju Tobarama feel uncomfortable, Uchiha Fugaku, his family, and other clan members will not be present. As soon as Obito walked in, then he saw Zifeng, the clan leader's son, busy entertaining guests. And each of these guests is either of noble status or extremely powerful, such as Ninja World's most speedy Senju Tobarama, Konoha's Whitefang Hatake Sakumo, Konoha Sanin Jiraiya, Tsunade, Orochimaru, etc. Everyone sent valuable birthday gifts. Senju Tobarama even gave the red laminated armor worn by first Hokage to his third brother. The moral of this is self-evident. Second brother. Senju Tobarama said earnestly, "This is the armor my eldest brother wore before he was alive, so I will give it to you." Ah, second brother. Uchiha Kagami was a little frightened. Did you dig it out of the grave? Is this a bit rude to my elder brother? I don't mind. I'm just afraid that you will be beaten in the future. Get out of here, you're talking nonsense. I didn't take the armor from brother's graveyard. Do you really think that brother only has this set of armor? I sorted it out from brother's belongings. It's really not serious. Tobarama rolled his eyes. Second brother, then this is too valuable, I can't accept it. Uchiha Kagami said. No one wears this armor anymore, and no one is qualified to wear it. Senju Tobarama patted his shoulder. Second brother, I give this to you not only because I value you, but also because I always think you have that potential. Catch up with the former god of ninja. Or even surpass him. Create a prosperous age for Konoha. I will give you this layered armor, brother, don't shirk it. Thank you, brother. Uchiha Kagami was moved, but I muttered in my heart that I would wait until Hashirama was resurrected. When you see this armor being given away by your second brother, will you jump up and curse? After all, this armor is a couple model with Uchiha Madara. Chapter 51. The birthday party still goes on. Everyone was having fun, chatting while eating. The other tables are basically jonin from the village, such as Yumino Akaku, Yuhi Junhong, Kato Dan, Akamaiki Tofu, Namikaze Minato, etc. And on Uchiha Kagami's desk. Either he has a prominent status or he is top-notch in strength. Of course, in addition to Senju Tobarama, Jiraiya, and Sakumo, we also invited colleagues who were former second Hokage guards. Hiruzen, Kaharu, and Homura are all here. Only Danzo didn't come, but Uchiha Kagami didn't care. After all, after Orochimaru came to power, Danzo, an ambitious man, didn't even get a Hokage assistant. Plus I fooled them. Danzo, the old Bidian, was feeling unhappy. On the contrary, Sarutobi Hiruzen was actually relieved. His early character was actually very similar to Naruto's, active, brave and willing to sacrifice, unlike the original who had experienced too much. Plus, getting older and older. Instead, he became increasingly mentally exhausted and indecisive. After all, he and Jing have a close relationship, and he deserves to be the leader of the root organization. He is also truly happy for his friend. And Danzo didn't come again. Senju Tobarama frowned, but didn't say much. As the third Hokage, Orochimaru wears casual tights, but wears a third Hokage hat on his head. This scene. Watching this, Uchiha Kagami felt happy. I don't know why, but he always thinks Orochimaru is perfect as a Hokage. At least it is much stronger than Hiruzen. Orochimaru's strength may need to be considered, but he has made a huge contribution to Konoha in terms of technology in the past few years. Orochimaru noticed the gaze, and a look of curiosity appeared on his pale face. What's wrong? Why are you looking at me so strangely? Nothing, I just wanted to ask. How does it feel in the Hokage position? Does it feel very comfortable? Uchiha Kagami walked over and put her arm around his shoulders. Orochimaru glanced at his hand, with a slightly unnatural look on his face. I'm sorry, the documents that need to be processed every day are piling up like a mountain. I specifically asked for leave today, but I have to deal with both today and tomorrow. I guess my waist is going to be broken. No, the most serious thing is my hair. I seem to be losing my hair. Let me go. Are you starting to lose your hair? Is the Hokage so busy? Uchiha Kagami was stunned for a moment. I briefly imagined the image of Orochimaru with a bald head. Orochimaru couldn't help but find it funny. Orochimaru rolled his eyes at him with a slightly hesitant expression. Don't laugh. To be honest, I actually found that I still prefer studying science. Mirror, I don't want to be a Hokage anymore. Huh, you've only been working for a few years and you're tired of it. I'm tired of it. Being a Hokage is too tiring. This is not a human job at all. Forget about dealing with official duties, I still have to study at night. I can't even sleep for 4 hours a day. Orochimaru said hoarsely. Can we discuss with the second generation project and replace someone as Hokage? I'm really afraid that I will go bald. Isn't it easy to be bald? Can't you just research a hair growth potion? If you are bald, give yourself an injection. When your hair is used up, if you are bald again, just take another injection. Jing said. Quote? Orochimaru said resentfully. Are you a scientific idiot? All medicines are resistant and cannot be effective all the time. Aren't you afraid of my sudden death? Okay, you are acting like a resentful woman now. You were just joking. Uchiha Kagami considered it. It's definitely not possible for you to change someone just a few years after taking office. The second brother will not agree. But there are always exceptions. If war comes again and someone uses Penultimate's military exploits to turn the tide of the war, then my recommendation should be enough to replace him. You have someone chosen. Who is it? You'll know right away. Let me get out of my way first. Uchiha Kagami smiled. Then he raised the wine glass in his hand and announced something immediately. Everyone, first of all, thank you all for coming to my birthday party today. It just so happens that my second brother, third Hokage, and all the Jonin are here. If you can be a witness, I will accept a young man present as my disciple. He is an outstanding, responsible young man. What, Senior Jing is going to accept a disciple? And, he's still a young man at the scene. Who is it? Who is so lucky to become Lord Mirror's apprentice? Everyone was talking about it. Everyone knows very well how important the mirror is in Konoha. Especially since everyone knows that after Senju Tobirama passes away soon, Kagami will be the person with the highest status in Konoha. And the disciple will directly cross the level of ninja. The carp jumped over the Dragon Gate and became a well-known figure in Konoha village and even the ninja world. Just when everyone was wondering who it was, Uchiha Kagami walked to Jonin's table and stopped the young man with yellow hair. It's me. Minato was obviously stunned for a moment. He actually didn't expect it to be him. Even in these years, Kagami-senpai taught him many ninjutsu. Among them was Master Second Generation's Flying Thunder God technique, but he was still not given the title of disciple. He originally thought that his talent was average. Now it was suddenly like this, which made him a little happy and frightened. Uchiha Kagami smiled and patted his shoulder. What? Minato, didn't you expect that? Did you think you have no hope? I do feel so. Although you taught me the Flying Thunder God technique, I know my talent is poor. You and Mr. Second Generation were able to understand Flying Thunder God in one day, but it took me a full month, and I failed to live up to your hopes. Minato's voice was a little deep. Next to him is Senju Tobirama, who can't help but feel a little embarrassed. It's true that Jing realized it in one day, but that he realized it in one day was just bragging. Why are these rumors so outrageous? It took a month to realize. This is already strong, okay. It took him more than a month to create Flying Thunder God. Etc. Doesn't that mean, is this yellow-haired boy even more awesome than his talent? Uchiha Kagami glanced at Tobirama, who blushed. The two brothers had known it for a long time, but Jing had a tacit understanding to preserve the second brother's face and spoke with a half-smile. Your talent is already very strong. Don't underestimate yourself. In the future, you may be able to change the ninja world. Is teacher. Minato knelt on the ground. Then, he was gently helped up by Jing. Under the witness of everyone, Minato became his disciple. He was considered the first disciple in Konoha, and he may also be the last. And Uchiha Kagami looked at Minato. Suddenly, the long-lost mechanical sound came from my mind, and the mission was refreshed after 7 years. Ding. System hint. Favorability mission. Change Namikaze Minato's fate of dying in the Nine Tails Rebellion. Rewards. Eternal Mangekyō Sharingan Culture Vessel Namikaze Minato's favorability plus 20, Chakra 2000 points. Eternal Mangekyō. Uchiha Kagami was stunned for a moment. I couldn't help but complain in my heart, this thing is finally here. But how on earth is this going to change Minato's fate of dying in the Nine Tails Rebellion? Does it have to wait until time has passed, or can it be done at any time? Please explain your system clearly. Besides, what does the suffix culture vessel mean? Do you have to cultivate it yourself instead of giving it directly? Although he felt a little unhappy, Uchiha Kagami still accepted it. This thing is definitely better than nothing. As for how to change Minato's fate, the method is very simple. Just make Minato stronger than the original. Minato in the original is actually a very comprehensive ninja, but his only shortcoming is the damage caused by scratching. Compared with the subsequent battles, I could only barely play support. Therefore, various advanced ninjutsu were taught to him, and chakra also needed to be improved, but this aspect was not easy to handle. If it doesn't work, we can only ask Orochimaru to help. And with Minato being accepted as a disciple, the birthday party also came to an end, with only a few people left. For example, Hitaki Sakumo, Kakashi, and Uchiha Fugaku's family began to help pick up the leftovers. Certainly, except there's Obito. A man was sitting on the children's table, eating roasted lamb's hooves. Looking at the careless 7-year-old boy in front of him, Uchiha Kagami couldn't help but feel a little emotional. Who could have imagined that he would cause great changes in the ninja world in the future? What about a young man like this? A young and ignorant boy, but always an innocent boy. It is actually normal to like someone, but the Uchiha clan itself is very emotional and is more prone to mental problems than others. In fact, he understands it very well. As for the Uchiha clan, they never doubt themselves. The first thing I suspected was that it was the world's fault. Lin died, and the world was wrong. I want to create a world for Lin. What about Uchiha Madara? Izuna is dead, Hokage can no longer be a good person. The tribe doesn't trust him anymore. Well, it's the world's fault, I'll make peace. What about Uchiha Itachi? Konoha has conflicts with the clan. It doesn't matter whose fault it is, the collective is right. I directly slaughtered the entire clan, including my parents, leaving only Sasuke alone. What about Sasuke? You kill my parents, okay, I'll kill you. Konoha caused my clan to be exterminated, well, I will take revenge on Konoha. Danzo the old dog prompted my brother to rebel against the clan, okay, I'll kill you Danzo to avenge my brother. He has clear grudges and never cares about justice. Apart from his tendency to show off, Sasuke is the most normal person in the Hokage. I saw the mirror and walked to the side. Obito was in a daze for a moment, then stood up and was flattered. Mirror, uncle, I didn't see you. I was too obsessed with eating. This roasted lamb's trotters is so fragrant. I'm sorry. Uchiha Kagami said gently, it's okay. If you like it, take it back. There are still a dozen sheep hooves left here. Huh, isn't this bad? It's too much. Didn't your mother eat too? You can take it back and give it to her. That's right, for my mother, the neighbors, and the old lady who picks up rags next door, hee hee. Uncle Jing, you are a good person. Obito smiled innocently. Uchiha Kagami smiled and suddenly asked, "Let me ask you, if the girl you like suddenly died in front of you, and you were unable to save her, would you think it was the world's fault?" I don't know, I never thought about it. Obito felt a little sad all of a sudden. I don't know how to respond, I feel a little confused and at a loss. Uchiha Kagami patted his shoulder and stopped asking questions. He asked Zifeng to pack the sheep's trotters for him, and then asked Shisui to send him back. The teenagers went out. Uchiha Kagami's face suddenly turned cold, and he raised his foot and stamped his feet. "Get out of here." Moment. Bang. The ground suddenly shattered. A total of 5 white Zetsu were forced out, looking horrified. "Discovered. How on earth did you do that?" Hee. Uchiha Kagami was too lazy to talk nonsense to them. His eyes turned into scarlet pinwheel patterns, and the black flames burned them away in an instant. His expression gradually darkened, and Uchiha Madara sent more white Zetsu to follow Obito, obviously still not giving up on turning him black. However, Project Tasuki no Mi, is Obito necessary? No, it doesn't matter whether there is Obito or not. Madara just feels that she is difficult to control, so she may not sincerely collect the tailed beasts to complete the plan. That's why I chose Obito, hoping to control him and do it for him. Only, he didn't pay much attention to it. Although the opponent regained control of Kurigakure, Madara had only a few years left to live. And he just quietly left the Flying Thunder God technique to Obito. Those Kurigakure, even if the whole village comes, they will still be destroyed in his hands. He didn't believe that Madara would still have a chance to make Obito go to another extreme. While he was thinking, suddenly, someone appeared in front of him. With a mask on his face, he looks like Anbu. But he is actually a ninja at heart. He has the Uchiha clan emblem tattooed on his shoulder, and he looks quite old. His name is Uchiha Yashara, considered the mainstay of the Uchiha clan. He is only 1 year younger than Kagami, and belongs to the elite among Jonin. Clan leader, I have information to report. Explain. There's something wrong with Danzo lately. What's wrong? Tell me in detail. According to your instructions, we secretly monitored Danzo and found that Danzo seemed to be investigating our Uchiha clan, and the content was related to Sharingan. What's your theory? Jingfeng asked. Although I don't believe he has the courage, I doubt. Uchiha Yashara said cautiously. Danzo may attack the Sharingan of our Uchiha clan. According to the recent surveillance intelligence, he may secretly attack us in the next few days. Where is the target? Who do you think will be the target? Jing asked again. This, I don't know. Yashara, Danzo is an ambitious man, but he will not overestimate his capabilities, so it is impossible for him to attack me. That would be an act of death. Uchiha Kagami said seductively. But he is also unwilling to steal ordinary Sharingan, so he will definitely target the elites of the ethnic group, and there are only a few who have opened the 3-tomo Sharingan. You think it will be me? Yes. Even though Yashara was slow to react, he still came to his senses. After receiving the clan leader's nod, his face suddenly became filled with anger. Just him, Lord Patriarch, with all due respect, even though he was once your colleague. But I don't think Danzo can deal with me at all. I will let him understand how powerful the Uchiha clan is. No, you are not his opponent. Uchiha Kagami shook his head. Although Danzo is indeed a bit inferior, he is still the 6th Hokage after Tsunade. Wrong. To be precise, it's 5th Hokage, and he was taken over by Sasuke just a few days ago. But Danzo is also a disciple of 2nd Hokage after all. Even without Izanagi and the Hashirama cell arm, he is not an opponent to be underestimated. Especially, he is very Grandmaster Wind-style ninjutsu. Moreover, in the original work, Nightmare was used to strengthen the vacuum wave, breaking through Sasuke Susanoo's surface defense. Even though it's only the second form, it is also enough to prove that Danzo's strength is still very impressive, at least above cage level. Although Uchiha Yashara is also an elite in the clan, he is only at the level of Jonin. He was instantly killed by Uchiha Itachi 3 or 2 times. If you want to deal with Danzo, you will most likely lose. But the Uchiha clan is too crazy. When the clan leader said this, the Yashara Uchiha clan was very unconvinced. But because of the patriarch's face, he was too embarrassed to speak out to refute, but quietly waited for instructions. Uchiha Kagami saw through his thoughts and calmly ordered, "Go to the back mountain of Konoha as usual, I will arrange someone to help you capture the formation for you. If you really can't beat him, that person will help you defeat Danzo." Quote. Yes, Patriarch, Yashura nodded respectfully. After Yashura left, Uchiha Kagami spoke calmly. "Minato, come out." "Teacher." Swish. In a flash of golden light, Minato appeared. Standing in front of the mirror, he never left, with a slightly puzzled look on his face. "Teacher, why is Danzo so bold?" Namikaze Minato was very puzzled. Dealing with the Uchiha clan, although I don't know him, but as the veteran Jonin of the village, isn't Danzo worried? "Teacher, are you settling the accounts in the future?" Minato, never underestimate a person's obsession with power. Uchiha Kagami said. Although Danzo is a very cowardly person and cannot sacrifice himself for Konoha, as long as it involves the struggle for power, he will do it at all costs and use any conspiracy. Naturally, he can die for power, and then call it, for Konoha. What a hypocritical person. This person Danzo. In fact, it can be said that his life was a failure. In the original work, he always said that he was doing it for Konoha, and only by becoming Hokage could Konoha reach its peak. But in fact, this guy is nothing more than a lackey of power. Especially Konoha has encountered several crises, such as the Nine Tails Rebellion, which ignored Konoha and even refused to allow people from the root organization to support the third generation. And Hiruzen isn't that good either. At least he used a stick to force Nine Tails out of Konoha village, giving Minato a chance. When Pain invaded Konoha, he did nothing at all, hoping that Tsunade's authority would be affected and he could succeed the sixth Hokage. As for other disgusting things, let's not talk about them. There are so many that they are simply uncountable, and the tragedies they cause are more outrageous than the last. So, in other words, it is entirely his own fault that he is hated and despised by others. And Uchiha Kagami has tolerated him too much. In fact, as long as Danzo doesn't cause trouble, he can spare his life for the sake of Tobirama. But now he wants to take advantage of the Uchiha clan and has reached his bottom line. Uchiha Kagami closed her eyes, feeling completely calm. Minato, give him some respect. Yes. Minato looked stunned. He immediately nodded heavily and left quietly. Konoha back mountain. In the dense jungle. Danzo is quietly lurking, waiting for its prey to take the bait. After a while, Uchiha Yashura appeared. This time he didn't wear a mask and showed his original appearance. When he saw that there was only one person coming, Danzo's heart suddenly filled with joy, and after hesitation he became ruthless. A person, great, according to my previous investigation. Uchiha Yashura's Sharingan is a 3 Magatama, and he is the leader of the Uchiha clan. As long as I get the Sharingan, I will have a chance to make a comeback. Teacher, you have seen the wrong person. The evil Uchiha will lead Konoha to darkness. Only I, Danzo, can lead Konoha to light. I'm not wrong. I'm all for Konoha. Uchiha Kagami, I will repay you tenfold for the insult you gave me sooner or later, starting with this pair of Sharingan. Danzo didn't hesitate. When the other party approached, large kunai was scattered. Clang, dang, dang, dang. Uchiha Yashura had been prepared. His eyes turned into 3 Magatama, and he raised his hand to knock all the kunai away. Danzo, I've been waiting for you for a long time. Uchiha Yashura said proudly. If you dare to attack our Uchiha clan, this will be the thing you regret most in your life. You already know. Jing, he's here too. Seeing that the other party has been prepared, Danzo felt as if he was facing a powerful enemy, and the cold sweat on his back soaked his clothes. He was worried that the mirror would come out and execute him directly on the spot, but Yashura smiled contemptuously, revealing a strong sarcasm. Who do you think you are? Do you still need our clan leader to come in person? I can deal with you by myself. Not coming. Great. Danzo felt relieved. They started fighting again, and the two of them went back and forth. All kinds of kunai flew out, until the number of kunai bottomed out, and they started to get serious with each other. Uchiha quickly formed seals with his hands and opened his lips slightly. Fire style Phoenix fire technique. Wind style vacuum wave. Danzo is not to be outdone. After taking a deep breath, Sakura opened her small mouth. Whoosh! A sharp wind blade came through the air. It was so powerful that it penetrated all the flames and split Yashira's body straight in half. Blood spurted out and the body fell to the ground. Success. So simple. Danzo couldn't help but frown. After all, the other party is also the leader of the Uchiha clan. He's not that weak. He can be defeated with just one ninjutsu. Is that still Uchiha? As expected, with a puff, the remains of his body turned into smoke. Under the shroud of smoke, Uchiha Yashira appeared behind him, his eyes filled with murderous intent. Your strength cannot be underestimated. The patriarch told me to be careful, but I still didn't take it seriously. I didn't expect you to be really capable, but you are limited to this level. The kunai in Yashira's hand stabbed straight through. It seemed like a fatal blow, but Danzo did not avoid it at all, and squeezed out a drop of blood from his fingertips. Raise your hands and press them on the ground. Summoning technique. As soon as he finished speaking, only smoke was seen filling the air. A huge summoning beast appeared. It looks very strange, with a long nose, and opens its big mouth to eat. Hooray! Hurrah! The strong wind was raging, and Yashira's body was rolled backwards. The whole person is completely unable to control his body shape and is about to be swallowed by the dream taper. This suction is so powerful. I can't move at all. Is this the legendary Dream Eater? Where did Danzo get such a powerful summoning beast? Uchiha Yashira was horrified and lost his voice. He wanted to counterattack with the great fireball to make the dream taper stop sucking the wind. But unlike the original Sasuke, who was protected by Susanoo, his body was completely in a state of chaos, and he was completely unable to form seals to mobilize chakra. Can only watching myself being eaten. However, Danzo's eyes were cold and he dealt a last blow to Yashira, who had no resistance. Wind-style vacuum waves. Call out. Phew. With the blessing of the dream taper, the wind blade released by the vacuum wave was like a machine gun, about to smash Yashira's body into a sieve. But, at the critical moment, suddenly, a sudden change occurred. With a swish sound, a flash of yellow light flashed, and Yashira disappeared. This is Flying Thunder God technique. Danzo started to get scared again and pretended to be calm. Mirror, are you here? I knew you would come to deal with me. Since you are here, why don't you show up? Is it because you are afraid that your former best friend will die? In your hand. Sorry, my teacher didn't come, it was me. Minato came out of the corner. Holding the special Flying Thunder God kunai in his hand, he looked at the person in front of him very humbly. Shimura Danzo gave up again and gradually became angry. Your name is Namikaze Minato, right? Your teacher didn't come because you were confident. You can handle me alone. Teacher doesn't think so. I think I can beat you. I'm sorry to say this, but the first task that teacher gives me, I must go all out. Minato said gently. Okay. Arrogant Uchiha, arrogant master and disciple. Dare you let a young boy deal with me? Uchiha Kagami, I will kill him and make you regret your contempt for me. Wind-style vacuum sphere. Danzo was furious. Mobilize the chakra and exhale wind breath again. Minato raised his hand and threw out a large piece of special kunai, which was densely planted on the surrounding trees, and then disappeared. Immediately afterwards, he raised his hand and threw out the three-pronged kunai. Heading straight for the opponent's head, Danzo easily avoided it by turning sideways, with a hint of contempt on his lips. After all, you are too young. The speed at which you throw away the kunai is too slow. I can avoid it even with my eyes closed. You were right, but the Flying Thunder God technique that the teacher taught me was not slow at all. Flying Thunder God second stage, Rasengan. Chakra gathers in Minato's hand. The next second, appeared behind him. The Rasengan in the palm of his hand quickly spun and hit his back mercilessly. Poof! Danzo felt a sense of crisis in his heart. The crisis of life and death allowed him to barely avoid this blow. But the Rasengan still landed on his shoulder, directly piercing his shoulder blade, and his right arm was directly broken. Puff! Danzo vomited blood. His whole face was pale and there was no blood at all. He staggered and fell to the ground, his expression full of unwillingness. I actually lost. Lost to a young boy. No, absolutely not. I lost not to you, but to the Flying Thunder God technique. I lost to Uchiha Kagami, and I lost to Sensei. Haha, I, Danzo, haven't lost yet. For Konoha, I must win. Dream taper. Devour. Click, click. In an instant, a strong wind whipped up instantly. All the surrounding trees were torn down. Even the special kunai stuck in the tree will be swallowed without exception. No more flying thunder god kunai. I see you. How are you my opponent? Danzo used a very fast teleportation technique to get close, and the kunai in his hand was covered by wind style, turning into an extremely sharp sword. This is wind style vacuum sword. The ultimate ninjutsu used in the final confrontation with Sasuke in the original novel. He has no Hashirama cells and therefore does not have much chakra reserves. This move is the final moment to determine the outcome. Danzo, you are strong, but with the teacher's expectations on your back, I, Minato, cannot lose. This move, you will lose. Spiral Flash Super Round Dance Roar 3 styles. Minato took out the remaining 6 kunai from his waist. There was a flash bomb hanging on his thumb, and he threw his hands out. Phew, whoosh, and Minato turned into a golden light. While easily avoiding the opponent's attacks, his figure continued to flash around, and the golden light was dizzying. Plus flash bomb cover. The other party couldn't react at all, and had several holes in his body. Shimura Danzo lost. His body was completely defeated, and his breath suddenly became weak. With such an injury, without the blessing of Hashirama cells, he will soon enter the countdown to life, and death will be his destination. Minato looked at him and sighed leisurely. Actually, the teacher has never targeted you intentionally. Danzo, you are not suitable to be a Hokage. As long as you are not so obsessed with power, the teacher will give you a way out because of your old relationship. Ha ha ha, give me a way to survive. Uchiha Kagami is sanctimonious and pretends to be kind. But in fact he takes the rights of Konoha as his own and does not let anyone interfere with the rights of the Hokage. Blood seeped out from the corners of Danzo's mouth, but he became more and more hysterical. I can't even be a Hokage, but I can't just ask for a Hokage to assist. Why, he won't let me do this. I have to do this. I do it for Konoha. For the future of Konoha. He used to be my best friend. He once said that I am more suitable for the Hokage than Hiruzen. He once said that he would elect me to be the Hokage in the future. He is a despicable person who goes back on his word and breaks his promise. What did I do wrong? Hey, you've gone crazy. Minato stepped forward helplessly. I'm sorry, Danzo-senpai, the teacher asked me to give you a courtesy, so I have no choice but to do it. I don't want his pity. Give me some dignity. Haha, since he doesn't give me the right, I'll get it myself. Why don't you do it? As soon as these words came out, the ground suddenly surged. A large number of white Zetsu came out and rushed towards Minato. Not only that, there's also a white Zetsu with a Uzumaki face. Raising his hand to lift Danzo up, he was about to get into the ground again and leave. It's you white Zetsu again, please leave. The teacher gave me the first task, how could I let him down? Oh, let me stay. Big Ball Rasengan. Minato ignored the regular white Zetsu. Raising his hand and throwing out the kunai, a flying thunder god approached instantly. Quickly mobilize a large amount of chakra and turn it into a huge blue ball. However, Afei didn't panic at all. His expression didn't change at all. He raised his hand and threw out a branch. Wood-style cutting technique. The branch easily pierced Rasengan. It was about to pierce Minato's body in the air, but Minato was keenly aware of the crisis, and a flying thunder god left the place. Bang! The branch stabbed White Zetsu behind him. White Zetsu's head exploded, and broken branches flew everywhere. The dead can no longer die. Seeing this scene, Namikaze Minato's pupils tightened and he said in a deep voice, "It's Master First Hokage's wood style. Who on earth are you?" "Huh, who am I, you ask?" Afei looked solemn and said seriously, "Then if you give me a piece of shit, then I will tell you who I am." Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Minato was stunned for a moment. Are you kidding? Afei said seriously. No, I'm serious. If you can let me feel what shit means, then it's okay to leave Danzo to you. Danzo. Circle dot operator oh circle dot operator. Bro, are you serious? Aren't you here to save me? Are you going to give me up for some bullshit? What the hell kind of logic is this? Quote dot 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 quote. Minato couldn't hold himself any longer. The thing in front of me knows First Hokage-sama's wood-style technique. But why is he such a funny person? Before he could say anything, next to him, Danzo couldn't stand it anymore. Hey, you are so powerful, kill him quickly. Kill the hell and run away. I'll just go. That person is coming. If he doesn't come, we both have to stay. Afei suddenly looked panicked. He hurriedly carried him and got into the ground. Minato tried to stop him, but it was too late and he could only watch Danzo leave. Not long after, there was a flash of light in the sky. Uchiha Kagami showed up, and he didn't seem surprised. Failed. I'm sorry, sensei. I couldn't complete the task you gave me. Danzo was taken away by a swirling white zetsu. Minato said in shame. Uchiha Kagami said gently, it doesn't matter. That white zetsu is very strong. It is the most special one among the white zetsu. The opponent has the floating technique that can blend with the vegetation and move very fast. What about wood style, teacher? How does he know wood style? Minato was curious. I am not sure as well. Uchiha Kagami shook his head. It's actually normal for Afei to know wood style. But at this stage, it should not be that strong. This can be seen from the fact that he needs to wrap up Obito and Yamato and strengthen wood style in order to cast Hell's Chaos and Pseudo True several thousand hands. As for why Obito didn't use wood style in the later stage, most people think that Obito is being dismissive or hiding his identity. But in fact, after being separated from Afei, the power of Obito's wood style has been greatly weakened, and it may even be impossible to use it at all. And Yamato is actually in a similar situation. With Afei's blessing, Yamato can use the Pseudo True several thousand hands, but without Afei, Yamato can only use the 3 bedrooms and 2 living rooms technique. But again, Afei cannot do without the basic condition of host. Otherwise, wood style will also be greatly weakened, but it should be much stronger than Yamato. Minato hesitated for a moment and said, then teacher. Danzo was taken away. Do we want to chase him back? Why chase? Uchiha Kagami looked joking. Since Danzo dares to attack the Uchiha clan, it is a provocation to Konoha, and even, he wants to kill my apprentice. This kind of behavior that harms our companions is simply deviant and inhumane. Let Orochimaru, no, tell Lord Third Hokage. Danzo has rebelled against the village and issued an S-class wanted order for traitorous ninjas to the ninja world. Quote exclamation mark. Quote. Minato was stunned. Does this mean Danzo is wanted as a traitor? But he didn't have time to think too much and immediately rushed to the Hokage building with his teacher. Under the leadership of the teacher, with a snap, they appeared in Hokage's office. Orochimaru raised his eyebrows slightly, glanced at the Flying Thunder God spell engraved on the table, and couldn't help but complain. You are the one who dares to engrave the Flying Thunder God spell on Hokage's desk, and replace it with an ordinary person. I would have thought someone assassinated the Hokage. But I have to say, you are always so fast. You scare me every time. Can you come up through the front door next time? If not, you can carve the Flying Thunder God spell on the door and knock on the door. Oh, definitely next time. Uchiha Kagami said perfunctorily. I came here this time to tell you something important. It doesn't matter whether I go through the main entrance or not. Do you want to listen or not? You tell me. Well, Danzo rebelled against the village. Oh, it's not just rebelling against the village, what? Danzo rebelled against the village. Orochimaru looked shocked and said, when? What happened? Why did Danzo suddenly rebel? He wants to deal with the Uchiha clan, steal the Sharingan, and kill my apprentice. Uchiha Kagami said coldly. I think it is necessary to issue a wanted order now to announce to the ninja world that Danzo has become a traitor. Now, no, mirror. Danzo is the disciple of second generation. I know, you don't show any mercy at all. Ahem, the second generation is old but not dead yet. You have to ask the second generation for instructions, right? Let's see how to deal with it. Orochimaru was confused. I'm still the younger brother of the second generation. There's no need to ask for instructions. Hokage-sama, don't you even give me such a small amount of face. Uchiha Kagami joked. Have you forgotten that you said you didn't want to be a Hokage last time? I need to report to the second generation project that you don't work seriously, and then let you continue to be a Hokage, work overtime for 100 years. You are cruel enough, then I will issue a wanted warrant now. Orochimaru compromised. In order to prevent myself from going bald. On the day the wanted order was issued, Konoha was in an uproar. The news spread throughout the ninja world the next morning, and everyone in the top management of Konoha, except Uchiha Kagami, was shocked and surprised. Danzo is not just a cat or a dog. After all, he is a disciple of the second generation, and even though he has been swimming in the second ninja war. But at least some miscellaneous soldiers were cleared out, and his disguise has always been very good. Therefore, when Danzo became a traitorous ninja, most of Konoha's top brass found it difficult to accept it. But in the eyes of the people of Konoha, especially after Danzo's charges were announced, everyone didn't find it difficult to accept it, and everyone started to take offense. Master Danzo actually rebelled against the village. This is amazing. You said, could it be a lie? How is that possible? The arrest warrant issued by Mr. Third Generation himself is for murdering his companions in the village. This is not nonsense. Who are you trying to kill? The Uchiha clan seems to be called Uchiha Yashara. It seems like those Uchihas who are dragging Japan around are not trying to murder. Shut up, the victim is also Master Uchiha Kagami's apprentice, named Namikaze Minato. It is said that he almost died trying to stop Danzo. Lord Mirror's student. Oh, then Danzo really deserves to die. Don't think about it. Kagami-sama is such a kind person. Namikaze Minato must be equally kind. Danzo is so disgusting. I feel the same way. It's disgusting. There was a lot of discussion in the village. The reputation of the Uchiha clan is not high, but fortunately they are now relieved of their responsibilities as Konoha police officers. From the inside out, coupled with the influence of Uchiha Kagami, everyone immediately felt that Danzo became annoying. This is the influence of personality. Of course, personality is not the key. The key is based on personality. You have to make enough contributions to Konoha to gradually turn your personality into prestige, and one person's words can influence the judgment of the villagers. How smart do you think the villagers can be? Or, they think what their superiors say is right. If the person above has enough positive influence, no matter whether he has evidence or not, then this matter must be true. But the top management of Konoha is different. Many people actually pity Danzo, such as Udatain Kaharu and Mitokado Homura. In their opinion, Danzo did nothing harmful at all, he just wanted a little bit of power. As the second Hokage's apprentice, Kaharu and Homura also want to be Hokage consultants, but they are just not strong enough. In addition, the ambition is not that big, so it is just like this, but Danzo is a very paranoid person, and he can do such a thing. They can actually understand it. But anyway, there is nothing more to say. But Hiruzen is different. After hearing that Danzo became a rebel ninja, he had to bring someone to bring him back. But it was stopped by Senju Tobarama, and nothing happened after that, and Danzo has been completely missing. The beginning of Konoha 47. With the ninja world having been at peace for nearly 10 years. The major ninja villages couldn't sit still anymore and began to argue constantly. There are constant frictions between the major countries, and small-scale disputes occur from time to time. War seems to be coming again. And also in this year, the second generation eyes are getting older and older, and their lifespan seems to be coming to an end. This year, Tobarama turns 70 years old. Tonight, it seems the time has come to part ways. At second Hokage's house, more than a dozen people gathered at the moment. In addition to Sarutobi Hiruzen, Mitokado Homura, and Udatain Kaharu, there are also Jiraiya, Tsunade, Orochimaru, and Uchiha Kagami. At this moment, Senju Tobarama is lying on the bed. On the old face, looking at the sad eyes around him, he finally fixed his gaze on Jing. You all please step aside. Third brother and I will have a few final words. Yes, Sensei, Hokage-sama. Everyone left. Only the two brothers were left in this small space. Uchiha Kagami looked at his second brother who had aged beyond recognition, his face showing sadness that he thought he would not see. Second brother, you are so ugly like this. Haha, cough, when you get older, you might be uglier than me. Impossible, I'm so handsome, I can't be ugly, and I can't be old. If it doesn't work out, I'll ask Orochimaru to study facial retention techniques to keep my appearance in a youthful state, Jing said. Good idea, but it's a pity that I can't see it. Senju Tobarama looked at him and said seriously, "Mirror, in fact, sometimes I really doubt you, are you the mirror?" Quote. Uchiha Kagami was stunned for a moment. Obviously, he didn't expect what the other person meant by his words. "You have changed too much. Even if you say, Mangekyō caused memory loss, a person's behavior and habits will not change because of memory." Senju Tobarama said slowly, "Your memory seems to have been recovered in the past 10 years, but many details cannot be ignored. I have thought about who you are. Is it a mirror, or an outsider whose body has been taken over by someone, but now I feel who you are is no longer important. Don't be important anymore." "Why isn't it important anymore?" Jing asked. "Because your heart is for Konoha, that's enough. Actually, second brother, I am always Uchiha Kagami, but I am just a transformed Uchiha Kagami. Konoha will not decline, and the ninja world will eventually achieve permanent peace in my hands. Do you believe it?" "I believe you can do it." Senju Tobarama looked at him and showed a long-lost smile. "After 10 years, you may be as strong as my elder brother, and you are still young. I believe you can surpass my elder brother. I know you are still planning something else. Danzo's rebellion was also your intention. Uchiha Madara, you may also want to cooperate with him. Aren't you afraid, Madara, that you can't control it? Also, what have you been worried about? For 10 years, you always seem to be worried about something. I can see it, it doesn't seem to be because of Madara. Can you tell me?" "As expected of you, second brother." Uchiha Kagami couldn't help but sigh. Really worthy of the thoughtful Senju Tobarama. Not only can he see through his own thoughts, but he can also see what is in his heart, plus the two brothers are very close to each other. Many things can be seen through with just one look. But seeing through without asking is also a kind of knowledge, and now that Senju Tobarama is dying, questions will arise. "I won't hide it from you anymore, second brother." Uchiha Kagami took a deep breath and said, "If I tell you that the crisis in the ninja world is coming, not even Uchiha Madara, not even Senju Tobarama, not even Sage of Six Paths are alive, can compete with each other. The opponent claims to be a heavenly being, and even the Sage of Six Paths are just descendants of their slaves. Such a powerful enemy. Can I not worry about it?" "What, are there such enemies? What are their names?" "The Otsutsuki clan." Otsutsuki. Senju Tobarama was skeptical at first. If it were anyone else, he would not believe the truth of this statement. "You must know that Sage of Six Paths is the founder of the world. He is like a mythical figure. But you said that there is someone more awesome than Sage of Six Paths." "Sage of Six Paths, just the descendants of the other group's slaves. Anyone else would think you were a fool, right? Even if his eldest brother Hashirama told him this, he would only think that his eldest brother might have a short circuit in his brain. It wasn't that he didn't believe it, but that Hashirama was not very serious most of the time. But if the mirror said it, then he is willing to believe it, because Jing is a serious person." Senju Tobarama thought of this and couldn't help but said bitterly, "Third brother, no wonder you told me that the old Madara lacked combat power, but you didn't plan to get rid of it soon. It turns out that you have already made preparations for the future. But if the other party is really so strong, I'm afraid your second brother can't help you. After all, even the eldest brother can't defeat the enemy, what can I do? My strength is very average." "No, you can help me." Uchiha Kagami said sincerely, "Your strength is not important. What is important is that your strategy is unmatched. In terms of the degree of evil in the entire ninja world, no one can compare to you, second brother. I hope, if I really need you at that moment, second brother, I hope you can come and help me, and eldest brother Hashirama, the three of us brothers work together, I believe, there is no problem that cannot be solved." Senju Tobarama cheered up again, "Okay. I promise you. Brothers working together can break gold. What kind of bullshit, the Otsutsuki clan, dare to come to the ninja world and act recklessly. Put the blasters on the ground one after another. The ones who are not dead are all thrown to Orochimaru to be used as experimental subjects. Shit Otsutsuki, put the blaster on the ground and use it as a test subject for Orochimaru. Good guy. Listen, that's a lot to say, Haki. To be honest, only Senju Tobarama dares to say this. After all, Tobarama's strength has never been his personal strength, but his fearless courage. Uchiha Kagami couldn't help but sigh. As expected of my second brother, Haki, even I dare not say that. Otsutsuki, if the eldest brother was still alive, the ninja world would have been unified under your promotion, right? Your elder brother is not living up to expectations. He has the strength but is unwilling to do this. Senju Tobarama said angrily. It seems fair to distribute the tailed beasts for the so-called peace, but after he died, the first ninja war broke out immediately in the ninja world, and a lot of things were thrown at me. Madara said back then that it wouldn't be a problem to dominate the ninja world with their strength. I couldn't help but agree, but my naive big brother rejected her. Eldest brother is useless, I still have to rely on you, third brother. No problem, leave it to me. Although I'm not sure about Otsutsuki at the moment, there's no big problem in destroying other ninja villages. Jing-Z said. Ahem, then I'll be relieved. But don't worry, I'm too tired these years. Let me rest down there for a few more days. If you are really short of manpower, just call you big brother. Senju Tobarama said, but I am very happy to be able to get together with my eldest brother, so I will leave first. Okay, second brother. Senju Tobarama coughed several times, but his face became rosy. This is obviously a throwback. After a while, his hand loosened his grip on the mirror. But the corners of his mouth were slightly raised with a smile, as if he was full of beautiful longing for the future. Tobarama passed away. It's temporary, but no one knows. Sarutobi Hiruzen and others cried bitterly and sent Senju Tobarama away. In the next few days, Jing put the second brother's body in place to ensure that no sixth brother would steal it in the future, and then he went back with peace of mind. The next day, the news of Senju Tobarama's death spread throughout the ninja world. The major ninja villages are ready to take action, and coupled with Danzo's previous rebellion, the major ninja villages believe that Konoha is experiencing civil strife. Then, Sunagaku took the lead in tearing up the alliance agreement. The advance troops were sent out first, and then Cloud Shinobi Village and Iwagakure announced the start of the war. And this time Kurigakure was not idle either. He settled old and new grudges together and launched a war against Konoha. At this moment, the Third Ninja War has officially begun. But what is different from the original melee is that the last ninja war experienced the humiliation of Kage being captured, which led to the four major ninja villages besieging Konoha this time. Although the major ninja villages dislike each other, there may still be a little friction, but this time the fingertips are collectively pointed at Konoha. Konoha faced siege from all sides and showed no signs of fatigue. Logically speaking, Konoha even had a large number of ninjas in the advance force. It is definitely not as good as the four major ninja villages combined. But this is during Orochimaru's reign. This wasn't the era of the strongest Hokage, it was a few years ago. The advance force of the impure world reincarnation that Jing had proposed before was brought forward, but this time it was directly put into use, completely disrupting the opponent's rhythm. And Namikaze Minato, also this time, he took the lead in joining the battle. He quickly became famous in the ninja world with his proud flying thunder god technique, and called it Yellow Flash. Coupled with the identity of Kagami's direct disciple and the intimidation of his personal strength, the ninja world is very afraid. Even orders were also issued from above. If you encounter Yellow Flash, run away directly without any guilt. But the first round of confrontation has just begun, and it will definitely not work if the morale is so weak. The major ninja villages are a little unable to hold on. What the hell is this impure world reincarnation? Why do the ninjas of Konoha immune to death? It doesn't hurt at all when kunai stings the opponent, and ordinary ninjutsu is useless. What does immune to death mean? These impure world reincarnation ninjas, why do their chakras last so long? Why can they still use their ninjutsu? There is also a yellow flash, which is comparable to the red flash of the past. It's so fast, my eyes are going to go blind. Ah, I can't beat him at all. Yellow Flash is indeed that disciple, he is simply better than his master. Quick, report to the senior management, Konoha does not respect martial ethics. Almost at the same time, all major ninja villages got the news. Especially the Cloud Shinobi village. Third Raikage was so angry after being captured that he immediately slapped the table angrily and went into a rage. Konoha, they are simply scoundrels. They dare to desecrate the souls of the dead. They will be punished sooner or later. Tutai frowned and said, let's not talk about retribution for now. We have to turn the tide of the war. Those impure world reincarnation troops need to use sealing techniques, but there are too few villages that can be sealed. Then what do you think we should do? Third Raikage asked. We can only send elites to target Arankar. We need to be the first to defeat the enemy's pace. We must not let Konoha lead us by the nose. Tutai thought for a while and said, especially for the opponent's yellow flash, we must send out strong enough ninjas. I think, why not let Ihubby take action? Okay, leave it to them. Third Raikage is no nonsense either. As the son of Fourth Raikage, he has inherited I's name. Bai also became Eight Tails Jinchuriki a few years ago, and the two formed an AB combination. With the cooperation of the two, they may not be unable to win Namikaze Minato. The two immediately rushed to the battlefield. Not long after, I met a young man with yellow hair. Wearing a Jonin vest, his handsome face is full of sunshine. Minato raised his eyebrows slightly. People from Cloud Shinobi Village. Are you unable to sit still so quickly? The Cloud Shinobi ninja behind him said in fear, this hair color is right. We encountered Yellow Flash, Lord I. If we are defeated, there is no harm in us retreating. But I didn't answer and stared at the other party. Are you the ninja who stopped Nine Tails from seizing the mission? You are the son of Cloud Shinobi Village Third Raikage, right. I heard that you are very fast in taking action. Minato said. It was me, your teacher and the second Hokage who teamed up to defeat my father. I pointed at the opponent with one hand and said arrogantly, this time my brother and I will defeat you, avenging our shame. HMPH. As long as Big Brother and I take action together, there will definitely be no problem, stupid guy. Killer Bee was also rapping nearby. Seeing the Cloud Shinobi Village AB combination in front of them, Akamaiki Danto and Inuzuka Uru showed worry on their faces. Minato, the opponent is the son of Third Raikage. He should be very powerful. How should we deal with him? Don't worry, don't move, I will deal with them alone. Minato looked calm and reached for the bag behind him. He raised his hand and threw out a large piece of special kunai. The handle of each kunai was engraved with the Flying Thunder God technique of Sword of Ninja Love. Arrogant guy, take a punch from me. Fourth Raikage was furious. The moment chakra is mobilized, the lightning style coat wraps it up. He approached Minato at an extremely fast speed, clenched his right fist and slammed it into the opponent's face without any mercy. Minato raised his hand and threw the kunai. With a swish sound, he jumped to a tree and avoided Ai's attack. This guy actually avoided my extreme speed attack. His speed is actually faster than mine. Is this the Flying Thunder God technique? Ai's pupils tightened, feeling surprised and suspicious in his heart. But, before I could react, in a flash of golden light, Minato jumped again with the thrown kunai. He completed the dodge and counterattack in an instant. While holding the kunai tightly, he stabbed the opponent's back vest fiercely. What is unexpected is, suddenly, a sting. A huge octopus attacks with tentacles. Blocking Ai's back, Minato's face showed surprise when his kunai pierced the octopus's tentacles. And I also took this opportunity to return to Killer Bee. I'm sorry, Bai, are you okay? You are not yet proficient in tailed beast transformation, so be careful. Killer Bee said. Don't worry, brother, we are the strongest partners. And seeing this scene of the tailed beast transforming, teammates Akamaiki Danto and Inuzuka Uru looked nervous, isn't that right? Could it be that this guy is Eight Tails Jinchuriki? And at this time, the signal to retreat came from behind. The two teammates promptly signaled Minato to retreat temporarily. That's a big mistake. I am Eight Tails is me, Killer Bee, my uncle. Oh yeah, Killer Bee raised his finger. Minato looked at him with admiration and said, you are an amazing warrior. Eight Tails Jinchuriki aside, from a ninja perspective, you seem to have something very strong in your heart. Aojiao said, HMPH, my brother's talents are above mine. It won't be difficult to surpass him in the future. No, I don't mean talent. Minato shook his head and said, it's something more important than talent. You have a good partner and brother, and I happen to be the same. Anyway, the next time we meet, it should be the time to duel in the name of Shadow. For your brother, what is the most important thing? You must help him find out as soon as possible, otherwise he will find it difficult to get along with himself, both as a Jinchuriki and as a human being, and thus lose himself. These words are spoken from the bottom of my heart. Becoming a perfect Jinchuriki is not that simple. Especially because the teacher told him some reasons. Eight Tails Jinchuriki went berserk several times. The previous generation Eight Tails Jinchuriki Barubi went berserk and lost many elites. But the reason why he went berserk. In fact, by becoming a Jinchuriki, the perspectives of people around you will change. Barubi's friends also wanted to treat him as before, but they couldn't do it because of Jinchuriki, and then they walked step by step toward darkness, fear, and loneliness. Day after day, I am immersed in this emotion. Anyone would be lost, and the tailed beast's rampage took advantage of Jinchuriki's inner fragility, thus triggering the rampage. As for becoming friends with a tailed beast, at this stage, tailed beasts are an ominous symbol for the ninja world. While they are afraid of the power of the tailed beasts, and at the same time need to control the tailed beasts more strictly, how could they possibly think of becoming friends with the tailed beasts? Even if I think about it, the tailed beast lived for countless years and was used as a Jinchuriki by people in the shinobi world. This is actually no less than imprisonment and torture. For them, this is indelible hatred. Do you Jinchuriki want to be friends with them? Want to be friends after just a few words? It's not that easy. In other words, the main character Naruto, who has a lot of mouth escape power, cannot be perfectly controlled by anyone who becomes Nine Tails Jinchuriki. Kushina's adamantine sealing chains are so powerful, but they are not afraid of the power of Nine Tails. Eight Tails is actually in a similar situation. Now he has just become Eight Tails Jinchuriki, and he needs to find something that can really fit with Eight Tails, so as to get on the right track. I knew what the other party said was right, but he would not let the enemy lead him. So I pointed at him and said in a hostile tone, "Namikaze Minato, do you think you can escape by just talking nonsense? I won't let you go. In order to impress my father, and to wash away the shame of your teacher defeating my father, I must defeat you today." His expression was slightly condensed, and his eyes quickly scanned the whole place. Memorizing the locations of all the Flying Thunder God kunai, I quickly had a strategy in my mind to deal with Minato. The opponent uses Flying Thunder God to teleport and can only move to a place with kunai. And now I have memorized the positions of all the kunai. I just need to predict which kunai he will appear on next, and then attack as quickly as possible. Let's jump. Which kunai will you jump to? I fully activated Lightning Styles armor. Arcs cover the body surface, approaching the opponent as quickly as possible. Then, he punched the opponent in the head. But Namikaze Minato looked calm and held the index and middle fingers of one hand together. With a swish sound, he quietly arrived behind Eight Tails Jinchuriki with a quick teleportation, and the kunai landed on the opponent's head. Minato looked calm. I also carry a lot of things. I can't let the teacher down like last time, so I absolutely can't fail. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. The Cloud Shinobi ninjas behind him were stunned. When did the other party appear? Why did it appear suddenly? Wait, Eight Tails actually has the Flying Thunder God spell on its tentacles. Ai's face also became ugly. Was it the time when you saved me just now? There was a flaw left. Flying Thunder God, he was really fast. The key is, the opponent's fighting consciousness is simply unbelievable. If the Minato in front of him is so strong, then how strong will his teacher Uchiha Kagami be? However, Killer Bee isn't a bad guy either. The blade behind him had already been pressed against Yellow Flash's waist, and the two of them were fighting each other. Minato showed a faint smile. Although you were an enemy, I admire you very much. When you move your hands, you are like a ninja killer. No wonder you are called Killer Bee. When fighting, you should be conscious and swing to hurt each other. Killer Bee wore sunglasses and said coldly, "Hurry up and stab everyone together." The white knife goes in and the red knife comes out. Oh yeah. Okay, then I have to do this. Namikaze Minato looked calm. This is war after all, and there is no possibility of mercy. And the current Minato is different from the former Minato. He has been educated by the mirror and is no longer such a simple child. At least, when facing the enemy, you don't think too much. If Eight Tails Jinchuriki can be killed and Cloud Shinobi Village suffers huge losses in the war, Konoha will win the war faster. So, he stabbed it down suddenly. However, the next second, lightning flashed. I saw someone rushing over at extremely fast speeds. Minato looked surprised, and once again evaded the attack with a flash, and looked up at the opponent's figure. This person has bronze skin all over his body. He looks quite young, with slender hair and a gray beard. The word, thunder, is tattooed on his shoulder, and his whole body exudes an invincible aura. Third Raikage. Minato was slightly surprised, with a look of vigilance on his face. The war has just begun, are you already going to join the war? This is a bit against the rules. Young man, the rule is that the dead are alive. Third Raikage pouted. Besides, second Hokage and Uchiha Kagami teamed up to defeat me and forced me, third Tsuchikage, to become a prisoner in your Konoha village. This was an insult to my character. No matter what, I have to find my way back. Besides, it's a war now. Young people, don't blame us for bullying the minority. No, but Mr. Raikage, please be careful. If my teacher could defeat you, then maybe I can do it too. Minato smiled. Young boy, what do you know? If second Hokage and your teacher hadn't learned martial ethics and suddenly attacked me, I couldn't even release the lightning style armor. Otherwise, how could I have been defeated by them? Today I will let you see how powerful the strongest shield and the strongest spear are. Third Raikage was furious. Chakra surged from his body and turned into lightning. Zitsa, zitsa, zitsa. Arcs of electricity spurred out around the body. It's so fast that even Minato has to be prepared, using the Flying Thunder God technique to quickly jump to dodge the opponent's powerful attacks. And I, the son of Third Raikage. After all, he is still young and far from his peak, so he is far inferior to his father in terms of speed, strength, and defense. But when he joins forces with Killer Bee, their combat effectiveness cannot be underestimated. With superb combat awareness, Minato kept jumping back and forth among the three people, trying to find opportunities to counterattack. Soon, he instantly jumped behind the enemy. The chakra in his hand quickly condensed and turned into a blue sphere. Rasengan, you're the one I've been waiting for. Boy, Black Thunder Binding. Third Raikage's mouth was ferocious. Ignoring Rasengan's attack, a large amount of black lightning erupted from his body. Thunder and lightning quickly covered Minato's body, paralyzing him, and he seemed to be frozen. And Rasengan's attack, it actually landed on the opponent's body and had no effect at all. Minato's pupils tightened, and he was shocked. Is this the strongest shield? He is indeed the strongest Raikage in history. No wonder, the former teacher also had to defeat him before he activated the lightning-style armor. Right now, even if I use my Spiral Flash Chow Dancing Roar 3 styles, I'm afraid I won't be able to do anything to the opponent. Young man, have you seen how powerful I am? But it's a pity that my strongest spear is the strongest. It's time to end. Hell thrust Sibin Gunsho. Third Raikage's fierce eyes. Revealing an invincible aura, he put the four fingers of his right hand together and pierced Minato's head. Seeing the crisis coming, suddenly, Minato quietly disappeared. He didn't disappear on his own initiative, but was taken away by someone using the Flying Thunder God. At this moment, there is a man beside Minato. He had short black hair and a mocking look on his handsome face. Third Raikage, are you bullying my apprentice like this? When I brought you back to Konoha as a guest, are you not afraid of doing it again today? Arrogant Uchiha, you and second generation were just trying to get along. Third Raikage angrily retorted. As long as I release my strongest lightning-style armor, it is impossible to break my defense with your attacks. You can't beat me this time. Not only that, I will defeat you openly and openly. I will capture you all to avenge the humiliation. Okay, let's go one-on-one. If I win, then please invite Mr. Raikage and Killer Bee to visit us again in Konoha. We will warmly entertain you. Jing said very politely. No problem. Third Raikage was about to agree. But his son I was very puzzled next to him. Father, Namikaze Minato has suffered your Black Thunder and cannot regain his fighting strength. The three of us can join forces to besiege Uchiha Kagami and easily win the victory for the village. Why did one-on-one? You know nothing. My dignity won't allow me to do this. Get out of here. Yes, Father Raikage-sama. I and Killer Bee looked at each other. I couldn't help but feel helpless, but I couldn't argue with anything. He could only leave the place obediently and observe this fateful showdown not far away. Uchiha Kagami showed a hint of appreciation. As expected of you, third Raikage. Your pride does not allow you to do this. It was me and my second brother who took advantage of you in the first place. It's true that we won with no force, but this time in an upright battle, I will make you convinced that you lost. Then come on. I can't wait any longer. Third Raikage shouted. After learning the previous lesson, he immediately inspired the lightning-style armor. With his whole body covered by lightning, his hair stood up like a hedgehog, and his hair was as hard as steel needles. Aha! Third Raikage is an instant. He approached the opponent's body and put his 4 fingers together. He went straight to the opponent's head with the hell thrust, but just when he thought Mirror was about to dodge with the Flying Thunder God. Suddenly, Mirror also raised his right hand and put his 4 fingers together. Using the same move, he stabbed towards the opponent's hand. Hell thrust 4 pen hands. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Third Raikage was stunned for a moment. But soon a mocking expression appeared on his face. Uchiha Kagami, you are seeking death. You gave up your proud Flying Thunder God, but want to humiliate me with your poor imitation skills. No matter how much you imitate, without the blessing of the lightning-style armor, your hands and body will be easily penetrated by me. This time, I have defeated you. The third Raikage pierced through without mercy. But, what is unexpected is, the enemy was not impaled. I saw that the opponent's hand was covered with a purple lightning-style chakra, which directly collided with his hand. Bang! The two of them fell back again and again, and third Raikage groaned. Uchiha Kagami did the same, taking a few steps back and looking at each other a few meters apart. At this moment, only discovered by third Raikage. Not only the opponent's hands, but also his entire body were covered in lightning-style armor. It's just that the color of his lightning-style coat is purple, and it seems to be full of the same characteristics as black lightning, but it seems to be equally strong in defense. Seeing this scene, third Raikage was really shocked. Lightning-style armor. You actually learned it. How is that possible? This is the secret of my Cloud Shinobi village. How can you learn it by yourself without a teacher? Is it difficult? You can learn it by just learning. What is your move called? Why is it purple? It's also lightning-style armor, but I added the same paralysis characteristics as your Black Thunder. It seems that the color is different because of the different chakra. The name is Purple Lightning Chakra Mode. Uchiha Kagami looked calm. It's not like he's done nothing over the years. Lightning-style chakra mode is actually an almost very rare way of increasing the individual strength. The 8 inner gates stimulate the potential of the human body, but in fact the physical body itself does not increase much. And in the world of Hokage, where attack is high and defense is weak. Stop talking about you 8 tails Jinchuriki. Even Uchiha Izuna can still be killed by Senju Tobarama's Flying Thunder God / without using Susanna. But having lightning-style armor is different. Lightning-style chakra mode continuously stimulates human cell activity, thereby enhancing the physical defense. In the original work, the third Raikage has an existence that can compete with 8 tails. Even Jin Ming's spiral shuriken is difficult to cause much damage, and the ninja coalition cannot break through the opponent's defense at all. In the end, in desperation, Naruto came to his senses. Using skill, Rasengan, the Senjutsu, allowed third Raikage to defeat the shield with his own spear and thus won the victory. And the most important thing is, through cell activation exercise, chakra can be increased the day after tomorrow. For example, the fourth Raikage and the third Raikage typically use the lightning style to stimulate physical activity, thereby cultivating a chakra comparable to a tailed beast. Although the fourth Raikage is a bit lacking in defense. But in order to surpass Minato, the speed in the later stage is absolutely outstanding, and the strength is actually not weak. At least it is much stronger than other crispy ninjas. Attacks such as Kunai and Chidori cannot be effective, so the mirror will not let go. And with the title Master of Forbidden Technique. In the past few years, he has developed his own lightning-style chakra mode by combining it with the Purple Lightning, developed later by Kakashi. And his chakra amount is already comparable to Hashirama. The battery life will only be longer than theirs, and the speed of the Thunder Armor plus the Flying Thunder God technique can already crush the opponent in terms of speed. Uchiha Kagami. Although third Raikage was very angry, He had to admire him. To be honest, you are the most talented ninja I have ever seen. Even the second generation can't compare to you. No wonder. You said you were convinced that I lost, but your development of the lightning style armor also proves that you are indeed as rumored. Did you use too much and the load was too high, so that Mangekyō can no longer be used? Actually, I'm pretending, Jing said sincerely. Ha ha ha, you really can't lie. This is enough to prove your guilty conscience. If Sharingan can't be used, then I still have a chance to win. The strongest lightning style armor. Third Raikage no longer hides his clumsiness. The lightning style armor activates its strongest mode. The same is true for Uchiha Kagami, while the cells are activated. His black hair began to grow rapidly, his whole body was covered in purple lightning style armor, and his dark eyes showed his invincibility. Hell thrust Ippon's in hand. The third Raikage roared wildly. He directly used his strongest trump card and stabbed directly with a finger. However, Uchiha Kagami raised his right hand. The corners of his mouth were slightly raised, and the index finger of his right hand was covered with a layer of metallic color. The lightning style armor sizzled on it, and it also hit it with a consistent hand. Clang, click, there was a sound of metal clashing. There was a crisp sound, and Third Raikage's finger was broken. The remaining powerful power penetrated directly through his body. Although it did not damage any fatal vital points, Third Raikage was instantly severely injured. PFF'd. How is that possible? Third Raikage vomited blood, gritted his teeth and said unwillingly, even if you have only learned the lightning style armor for a long time, how can you defeat me with the same move? What did you do? Just now, what was the black on that finger? It's steel release. Uchiha Kagami explained. The combination of lightning style and earth style attributes can harden the body into steel again, making it invulnerable and indestructible. With the blessing of lightning style, my power naturally exceeds yours. The limit of blood inheritance. You actually, ahem. Third Raikage looked horrified. The whole person is a little doubtful about life. It doesn't matter if the opponent develops his own lightning style chakra mode. You can actually integrate the chakra attribute to understand the blood inheritance limit at will. What kind of pervert talent is this? Third Raikage looked sad and reminded sincerely. I, Third Raikage, actually lost in my own field. Uchiha Kagami, you are stronger than I thought. I am convinced of my defeat. But you must be careful. Onoki seems to have made great progress in order to target you. Don't worry, I won't lose. Uchiha Kagami smiled half-heartedly. With his current strength, hiding Mangekyō is actually not just for show. Especially in front of these shadows, he mainly wanted to spread the news and wait for Madara to take the initiative. And these years, in addition to learning Hashirama's wood style, he spent a lot of time developing new ninjutsu. And with the blessing of the two characteristics of Master of Forbidden Technique and Ninja Professor, he has more than just these two trump cards. If Onoki really dares to come, then let him try what it means to doubt life. The blow you just made penetrated my left lung. The blood flowed so fast that I was about to die. Third Raikage looked depressed and said in a pleading tone, let my son and Killer Bee go. I am willing to use my life and dignity to beg you to let them go. They are the future of Cloud Shinobi Village. Lord Raikage, I didn't tell you to die. Uchiha Kagami showed a smile. Since you just said that you would go to Konoha as guests, you must keep your word. I will not kill anyone at any time. After all, I am a kind person. But, there is no medical ninjutsu. Third Raikage looked difficult. I didn't say I couldn't do it. Ah, Jing blinked. A faint green light appeared in his hands. This was the healing jutsu that was harvested from Tsunade, and it quickly stopped the Third Raikage's injuries. Healing jutsu is a very powerful advanced healing ninjutsu. Regardless of internal or external injuries, or penetrating injuries, as long as you are not half-stepped into the gate of hell, you can basically be revived. Seeing the injury gradually recovering, the way Third Raikage looked at the mirror changed. The reckless man's mind seemed to be spinning, and he thought of a shocking possibility. You can even know Konoha Sanin's healing jutsu. And you can't do it. Wait, you shouldn't have mastered Onoki's dust release in addition to my lightning style chakra mode, right? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.